Tell me how, I got nothing to say. Tell me why my tombstone is blank. 'Cause I'm not the one who won't try. I'm not letting life pass me by. And tell me when the days are less gray. And tell me where is the road to less pain. How many days before I decay? It's getting so hard to get by. Where are all my trophies in life? And he hated the way he was dying, but the moment he turned on the light, he became what he dreamt of at night when he was young and hungry for life.
Set to sail to a place I can't say. Live a life worthy of chase. The time is today. New blood in my veins. I won't be the joker in life, playing the part I don't like. And he hated the way he was dying, but the moment he turned on the light, he became what he dreamt of at night when he was young and hungry for life. And he hated the way he was dying, but the moment he turned on the light, he became what he dreamt of at night when he was young and hungry for life. Yeah.
And he hated the way he was dying, but the moment he turned on the light, he became what he dreamt of at night when he was young and hungry for life. 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 Young and hungry for life.
This is the night for my final ride. Heaven and hell side by side. The raging wind cuts like a blade. These roads will ride my fate.
awake? I don't know, man. I just don't know. It's 1:07 a.m. Am I a sicko? AEW Revolution for all the West Coast people out there ended at a normal time. For us on the East Coast, we're not so lucky, Toni. Adam Copeland, he's back. Christian Cage, he's back. Finally. Will Ospreay's back. The second ace is back. He's no longer number one. I don't even think he was ever number one. And Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey. Oh my God, man. What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing, bro? And then we had Texas Death at the end, which we'll talk about because some people liked it, some people didn't. I don't really give a shit what you like. I liked it. We're going to the venue. It's after dark. And on this Monday morning, I want to know, what the fuck are you guys drinking? I'll see you over there. What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining me right here on Off the Script. This is your AEW Revolution 2026 post-show. I am JD from New York, coming to you live from the OTS venue inside my mother's basement. Thank you guys so very much for joining me here on this Monday morning, wherever you may be. Currently, as you listen to me, no matter where you guys are, live here on YouTube or when I upload this after the show is over to iTunes and Spotify and all other major audio platforms, it is 1:12 in the morning, Monday morning, man. You know, once upon a time, someone asked Tony Khan what he was going to do to lessen the lengths of these pay-per-views, and he said he would take it under advisement, whether it happens on Saturday or whether it happens on Sunday. He says he would be a little bit more mindful of the people that have to go to work on Monday morning when a pay-per-view falls on a Sunday. I don't really think he took anything into consideration, being that this was the longest fucking pay-per-view that AEW ever fucking put on. You know, all because you're on the West Coast, that doesn't give you the fucking leeway to go off the air at 12:35 a.m. 3 of these matches could have been saved for Dynamite. I don't know why we needed fucking War Dog. The Boar Dogs against Darby Allin and friends. And then fucking Mistico with 2 other masked individuals against the Don Callis family. Beats me. Anything to get all these fucking people on the pay-per-view for a pay-per-view payday, man. I think you should take your fans and their well-being into consideration first and foremost. Show should have ended at 11:30. Easy. Now that I got that out of my system, I'm going to complain about it until I'm blue in the fucking face. Every single month they have a pay-per-view. I'm going to complain about it. It's ridiculous. Revolution. I already see some division on social media. I already see people hating certain aspects of the show. I see people liking certain aspects of the show. You can like whatever the fuck you want, man. When you want to go and bitch and complain to me about what I liked, I'm going to tell you, get your own fucking platform and get your own podcast and your own live stream and go live to 0 fucking people. Nobody gives a shit. This is my show and my opinion. Jesse's not here because I don't blame him. He didn't want to stay up for another 3 fucking hours doing my show when he had to sit through a 5.5 hour fucking pay-per-view. I already see some division in regards to Revolution. Was it the best Revolution that they've ever done? No. No, not at all. There are several others that I've enjoyed a lot more. Nothing will top the Sting retirement Revolution. AEW's bread and butter is their pay-per-view. I thought what they did tonight was give you, certainly, your money's worth. They gave you your money's worth. I do think, and this is constructive criticism, don't take this to be JD hates AEW. This is constructive criticism. I understand you want big things to happen on the pay-per-view. I get that you want big talking points on the pay-per-view. You want to walk away that this happened and that happened and this happened and this guy came back and these people came back. The way that I look at it, and I mean this wholeheartedly, this is constructive criticism. I just don't think the people that run AEW understand the definition of constructive criticism. I don't think they have the willpower to be patient. They love giving you literally everything in one shot. They love giving you every type of match and every type of outcome and every type of fucking false finish and every type of weapon in a Texas Deathmatch. They don't know what in moderation means. They don't know what quality over quantity means. Now, we can sit here and exclaim why the pay-per-views being 5.5 hours, ending at 12:35 a.m. on the East Coast, is fucking terrible. I could sit here and make a whole fucking show about why and why not. But the company doesn't stop there. Tonight they had Adam Copeland, Christian Cage, Will Ospreay, and Ronda Rousey all make an appearance legitimately within the first hour and a half. In the first hour and a half of a 5.5-hour pay-per-view, Adam Copeland, Christian Cage, Will Ospreay, and Ronda Rousey all showed back up to AEW television. And then in that hour and a half, the first 3 matches on this show had false finishes with a kick out at 1. I'm going to say this as plainly and as respectfully as I possibly can. AEW needs to trim the fucking fat. Seriously. Imagine throwing a steak on the grill and it's fat and it's fucking just completely chewy at the end of it. Bro, I am paying top dollar to watch your greatest asset. I am paying top dollar to buy your best product. If you throw that steak on the grill and you didn't trim the fucking fat, and when I get it to the table on my plate in front of me, and I take the first fucking few bites, and it's chewy and it's fatty, and I want to fucking throw it right back at you and tell you, go get me another one and make it right this time. That's AEW's pay-per-views. That's AEW's mentality. Trim the fat. The only thing that needed to happen in that first hour and a half was Will Ospreay. That was it. You could have saved Copeland and Christian for Dynamite. He didn't need them to come on out and do what they did tonight. He simply trotted them out there for a pop. Ronda Rousey, don't get me started. Why Ronda Rousey is in a professional wrestling ring, I don't give a fuck what company it's for. WWE, AEW, MLW, GCW, Ring of Honor, your fucking Antilles fucking promotion. I don't give a shit. She doesn't belong anywhere in a pro wrestling ring. Now you guys have her and she's your problem. But I can't wait for the hypocrisy to hit social media where fans all of a sudden now are walking on the ground praising the ground Ronda Rousey walks on. Oh, she'll be appreciated over here because we love pro wrestling over here. Yeah, with the same person that said pro wrestling is bullshit and pro wrestling is fake and burying this one and that one and all these other things that she said. Sure thing, sicko. Sure thing. And don't get me started on the 3 kickouts at 1. What are we running, a fucking circus? The Young Bucks kick out at a 1. Toni Storm kicks out at a 1. Takeshita kicks out at a 1. Bro, this happened in the first hour and a half. This happened legitimately in back-to-back-to-back matches. Everybody wants to claim that Tony Khan makes the fucking final say. He's the end-all, be-all. That very well may be true. He loves trotting around telling everybody how he wears 7 different fucking hats. But if you think Tony Khan is fucking micromanaging every aspect of his PLE and telling everybody what needs to be done, what doesn't need to be done, this and that, bro, all you need to do is watch this fucking pay-per-view. The fact that we had 3 kickouts out of 1 tells you and shows you that Tony Khan doesn't know a fucking thing that's going on with any of these matches. Otherwise, why would it be done? Because it's stupidly ridiculous. The Young Bucks, Toni Storm, and then Takeshita. You mean to tell me that each producer of one of those matches, I'm assuming they had 3 different producers, each producer of every one of those matches did not correlate with each other. Hey man, we're going to do a kick out of 1 here. Make sure you don't really do the same thing and repeat the same thing that we're doing. Otherwise, it's not going to feel the same. Hey, you know what? don't bleed in this match. We're going to have a copious amount of blood in the first match. I would appreciate if we keep the blood to a minimum tonight because there's going to be a lot of it in the Texas Deathmatch. Maybe we shouldn't bleed copious amounts of blood in the first hour and a half of this show. Do you see how simple it is? Who's running the fucking show? Who's running the ship? I don't know how many times I have to tell you, Tony Khan, by name, is the boss. He wears 7 different fucking hats. Who really runs the show? The inmates run the asylum. Otherwise, things like that don't make it onto the pay-per-view in back-to-back-to-back matches. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. The Young Bucks started bleeding with the boys in FTR 17 minutes into the show. The Bucks were bleeding buckets 17 minutes into the show. Did the match need blood? Why are we getting blood when we know we're expecting a bloodbath in the final hour of the show with MJF and Adam Page? The more you do it, the less impactful it's going to be. When MJF came up bloodied, I'm like, oh, well, there you go. Like, we didn't see that fucking 3 different times tonight. The company can't help themselves. And again, I mean this from a good place. I'm not hating on the fucking company. I wish that they would change for the better. Every single time I complain about it, I'm hoping someone listens. Every single time I complain about it, I hope something is fixed. And somehow we're getting worse and worse and worse and worse, and nobody fucking listens because everybody there thinks they know better. I've been watching way too much pro wrestling to know what's good and what's not good. I just mentioned all this shit in 10 minutes. And the people that actually run this fucking operation can't think straight to do what needs to be done and not what needs to be done. I want to start with the Texas Deathmatch. I don't know where this review's going to go because it's too fucking late. And I don't want to sit here and talk about, well, Takeshita had Jon Moxley in a headlock takeover and he transitioned into a fire thunder driver. I don't know where this review's going to go. I want to talk about MJF and Adam Page. We knew what we were getting with Texas Death. Okay? We knew what we were getting. I'm a big fan of MJF. Have been a big fan of MJF since his days on the indies. Always been nice to me. Always. In character, but always been nice to me. Never had a bad thing to say about me. A couple of times I met him in person. Adam Page, I've thought highly of Adam Page and what he's done with AEW and his contributions to AEW since day one. And I'm not going to think otherwise because these two guys are the foundation of what AEW is. From day one. They've both been in some of the best moments, in some of the best matches that this company's produced in 7 years. MJF is the world champion for a second time. His first reign was good. I think it could have been a little bit better. The Adam Cole shit fucked everything up. The Adam Cole injury fucked everything up. He came back. He didn't know who he needed to be, who he wanted to be. He definitely came back feeling like he should be the Triple H of AEW, wearing his blue jean jacket, and he's coming back looking for revenge on Adam Cole. AEW didn't know how to use MJF the day he returned from that year's World's End. It was after he lost to Mark Briscoe at All Out last year. in a stupid thumbtacks and tables match. He finally comes back at World's End last year, wins the World Championship, and has been riding a great wave of momentum. It's almost like the company missed him. It's almost like the fan base missed him. AEW's got some great talent. Seriously. Will Ospreay, Swerve Strickland, Adam Page, Andrade, Kenny Omega, Samoa Joe. The main event scene right now is maybe the best it's ever been. You put MJF at the top and you make MJF your world champion, your ace. There's no reason to believe that AEW's main event scene is not the best in all of pro wrestling. There's no coincidence that AEW's string of momentum directly correlates to MJF. Will Ospreay wasn't doing these types of numbers. Swerve Strickland wasn't doing these types of numbers. Adam Page certainly wasn't doing these types of numbers. Samoa Joe, Kenny Omega, Chris Jericho. Maybe not Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho, he was the first ever world champion. I mean, their attendance from those days are nowhere even close to what they were then. But the point I'm trying to make is MJF, with him at the top, things are going in the right direction. Attendance, give or take, has been consistent. Ratings have been up, much better than where they were. All that directly correlates to MJF. After tonight, it is pretty safe to say, and MJF mentioned this with what's-her-face. I don't even want to mention her here because her fucking voice gives me just cringe chills. But MJF recently said in an interview leading up to Revolution that without AEW, and he was in character, by the way, but I don't give a fuck if he's in character or not because I've been saying this for fucking years. Without MJF, the company is dead. MJF didn't lie there. MJF is very much in character, but without MJF, this company is fucking dead. If MJF leaves the company, AEW is going to struggle to survive. He is their last true main event guy. By the time MJF is ready to move on to greener pastures, Kenny Omega's not going to be wrestling anymore. He's already taken a severely limited schedule. Swerve Strickland isn't that type of main event guy. Great wrestler, isn't that type of main event guy. Swerve Strickland is a great wrestler. He is not a top of the promotion type of guy. He's not. I'm being brutally honest with you. He's not. He's got everything to be a fantastic pro wrestler. One of the best in the world. He's not a top guy. Will Ospreay may be that guy. With his comeback story this year, he may actually, maybe be that guy. If they play their cards right and build him for that World Championship match with MJF at Wembley. Maybe. Kenny Omega is going to be semi-retired at that point. Samoa Joe is in his mid-40s. Hangman Page, after tonight, can't get another World Championship. We've already been through 2 Hangman title reigns, and neither one of them have produced anything remotely close to being good. Andrade, he's a top-level fucking pro wrestler in the world. He's not a top guy for a promotion. Who else is there? Darby Allin? Who else is there? The point I'm trying to make is MJF is their last real top guy. Just like WWE. No matter how many times you want Cody Rhodes to go heel, he can't go heel until WWE produces the next Cody. Who that's going to be, I have no fucking idea. You know who that's going to be? MJF. You want me to be honest with you? The next Cody is MJF. When MJF gets there, then Cody can take a backseat. God honest truth. The next top guy in WWE doesn't even work there yet. His name is Maxwell Jacob Friedman. They don't have anybody to replace MJF. When he leaves, Tony's going to offer him fucking so much money, he's going to be fucking pissing green. It's going to be up to him to take it or not. I don't know where his life is. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know what type of situation he may or may not be in with his family. I don't know if him and his wife want to have kids. It's going to be a lot of fucking money. That's life-changing money. He may opt to stay. But he'll go on interview here and interview there and claim that he doesn't need to go to WWE to take a pay cut and get a WrestleMania moment out of it. Bro, that man wants a WrestleMania moment. That man wants a WrestleMania moment. That man wants to achieve superstardom. You are not going to achieve superstardom in AEW, working AEW for the rest of your career. AEW's recent upswing. Not everything's great, though. Their recent upswing directly correlates to MJF. After tonight, MJF now holds the best Iron Man match in AEW history. Not only that, that was the best Iron Man match maybe of all time with Bryan Danielson. Second is Will Ospreay. They didn't go really 1 hour. They went about, 58 minutes? 59 minutes? Close enough. He owns the two greatest Iron Man matches maybe of all time. Certainly in AEW history. He owns the best dog collar match in AEW history with CM Punk. He owns the best storyline in AEW history with CM Punk. He owns the best promo in AEW history, the pipe bomb on Tony Khan, and some of the work with CM Punk. And now he owns the best Texas Deathmatch in AEW history. And before anybody gets their fucking underwear all bunched up, oh, but I like Jon Moxley and Adam Page at All In last year, JD. That's good for you. I don't give a shit. The only reason why that match was made so special was because the fucking World Championship was collecting dust in a fucking briefcase for 9 months. The only reason why you like that match is because it put an end to fucking terrible television. The match was very much advertised for what it was going to be. But at the same time, it was also AEW's version of WrestleMania 40 minus Dwayne Johnson and The Undertaker and John Cena. Instead, we got fucking Will Ospreay, Samoa Joe, Swerve Strickland, and Darby Allin. Maybe if they didn't rely too much on WrestleMania 40 theatrics and just left it Hangman and Jon Moxley, maybe it would have sold me a little bit more. I thought tonight's Texas Deathmatch was a lot better because it was MJF and Adam Page, and that's it. No outside interference, no fucking bullshit, no shenanigans, no Swerve, nobody else interfering. Two men handling their business. Not only does MJF own all these other greatest in AEW accolades. Again, you may or may not agree. I don't give a shit. The fact that MJF went out there, and I'm going to say this bluntly right to the fucking camera without stuttering a fucking word. The fact that MJF went out there and did this type of fucking indie, lowbrow, mud show, degenerate garbage is a testament to how much, A, that man loves AEW and will love AEW and do anything for AEW as long as he is there. But it's also, B, a testament to the leader he is. He's a leader that goes out there and does whatever the fuck he needs to do to make the show as good as it needs to be. He's the leader he is and goes out there and does whatever the fuck he needs to do to show the rest of them that's how you portray your love for what you do. MJF doesn't need this shit. The guy's born and ready to main event the next fucking 7 years of WrestleMania. The guy could coast and work 30 to 40 dates a fucking year. Make a whole boatload of money. Main event WrestleMania with Roman Reigns and CM Punk and Cody Rhodes, and already put in a Hall of Fame career. He doesn't need this shit. The fact that he does it shows you the type of guy he is, and this is the reason why I say, when it's always asked, JD, if you have a number one draft pick from both promotions, who are you starting your promotion with? My number one answer every fucking time is MJF. Every single time. He doesn't need this shit. Yes, because MJF loves getting hit in the back with fucking light tubes. And he loves having his teeth flossed with fucking barbed wire. And he loves using fucking needles, jamming them in the flesh of Adam Page. And potentially fire and thumbtacks and glass and all this other garbage. He doesn't need to do half of this shit. He does it because he's that guy. And I don't know what you guys need to do to start appreciating someone like him. But the reason he went out there and he did it is because he's the fucking boss. Whether you liked it or not, you got to give the man his due. He's the world champion for a reason. Tonight you saw what that reason was. He'll be main eventing Wembley if they're smart. There's absolutely no fucking reason. No reason to take the belt off of him before the end of August. None. I don't give a fuck who you are tempted to give the world championship to. None of them are on his level. Zero. If you want your business to get back to somewhere in the vicinity of where it was, you leave everything alone at the top of the card. Everything. With that said, I enjoyed the main event. There's no reason to complain about a Texas Deathmatch. If you're complaining about a Texas Deathmatch, A, you're a fucking idiot. Because, I mean, it's basically in the fucking name about what type of match you're going to get. You should automatically expect, especially if you watch AEW for 7 years, you know what you're going to get when you get Texas Death advertised. There's no reason to complain. If you're complaining, you're a bad faith engagement farmer. Absolutely zero reason to complain. You're complaining to nobody. Nobody gives a shit. You either like it or you don't. If you don't, shut the fuck up. You're bitching and complaining about fucking why things were used in the match will fall on deaf ears. It's a Texas death match. Now, if they did that in a regular match where it was just a standard one-on-one match, then I'd complain. They basically told you what they were going to do without actually telling you what they were going to do. You should automatically know what's going to come in this main event. Adam Copeland. He returned for revenge with Christian Cage on FTR. Now, I don't know what he was doing. He's filming a movie. I mean, he's filming a movie. What was he filming? A whole season of what? Vikings? Chat, where was he? Where was he? He's filming something. I don't know where Christian Cage was unless he was starring in this movie with Copeland or this TV series with Copeland. I don't know where the fuck he was. But they're back on television now. And they're targeting FTR. Again, I don't want to complain because we all kind of knew Percy Jackson. Okay. He was filming Percy Jackson. I don't want to complain because I love Copeland. Always have, always will. Christian Cage has been one of the better aspects of AEW television since he's turned heel. And his whole shtick is entertaining as fuck. He's back. I don't think it necessarily needed to happen after this match. I get what they were going for with the visual of FTR and the Bucks and the whole allure of what could be with these three teams moving on into some of their bigger shows, Forbidden Door and All In. This could have been saved for Dynamite. I know they wanted the big arena pop. I know they wanted the big pay-per-view pop. Didn't need to happen. Feels like forever ago since we saw Copeland and Christian. Happened legitimately in the first 30 minutes. By the time we got to the end of this show, who's talking about Copeland and Christian? We got Will Ospreay, and we got Ronda Rousey, and we got the Texas Deathmatch, and we got all these other things that happened. I would have saved this in particular for Dynamite. I don't know what AEW is going to do to heat this shit up with FTR. The last time we saw Copeland and Christian was at All Out in September. I don't understand how you just let all of this transpire, go away, and then come back all these months later, August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March. The guy was away for 8 months. In that moment, in September, Beth Copeland, showed up. She was given a spike pile driver by FTR. You let 8 months go by without mentioning a single fucking thing about this storyline. You didn't do anything to keep it at least on simmer. You didn't mention anything in 8 months. You didn't make any comments in 8 months. You didn't do anything to reheat the storyline in 8 months. You took FTR from that moment. You had them win the tag team championships. And then you hid the tag team championships on Saturday Night Collision. And the tag team division, since they've been champions, has been ice cold. There's no vision in AEW. When Brodito were the tag team champions, the tag team division was never hotter. In about 5 years, they all of a sudden injected so much life into the tag team division. It almost felt like year 1, year 2 tag team division in AEW. When FTR won the titles, it was right back to being ice cold. Some people didn't even realize FTR were the tag team champions. They were hidden away on Collision. 8 months. You expect people to care about FTR and Copeland Christian now, going into Dynasty, which conveniently is taking place in Toronto at the Scotiabank Arena. You'd think people are going to all of a sudden care about a storyline that happened back in August, and you did nothing to prep people that this storyline was still going on, the potential of it is still happening. You just completely abandoned it. And now you want people to all of a sudden jump on board because Copeland's back, and we heard Alter Bridge, and now Christian's back, and they're a tag team, and all is good. This guy could have given us some clues that he was coming back. This guy could have given us a fucking shadowy vignette, some cryptic promos, something. But you did nothing. And now you want me to care about their storyline that was abandoned 8 months ago for a predictable outcome for a match that's taking place in April where we all know they're probably going to win the tag team titles. I find that to be haphazard fucking booking. I don't know how anybody could sit there all of a sudden automatically engaged in what the story is. And then AEW will probably never go back and show us or tell us what the fuck happened. They won't reheat anything. They'll just expect everybody remembers what happened back in September. Don't know why we couldn't wait on this for this to happen on Dynamite. I don't know. What do I know, man? What do I know? I'm sitting in front of a fucking green screen in a virtual bar. What the fuck do I know? Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey made her AEW debut tonight to the mildest pop you could have asked for. She showed up at the end of a very lukewarm and lackluster Marina Shafir. Marina Shafir got a pay-per-view match. You believe that? I know Marina is a big proponent of the Death Riders. I don't think we need to be giving Marina Shafir a pay-per-view match in a one-on-one element. She showed up at the end of the Toni Storm Marina Shafir one-on-one match. This was the second match of the night. She gets in the ring. I think it took a little bit for people to recognize who it was. I recognized her immediately. I mean, how could you not? She gets in the ring. She takes her jacket off. She starts making motions for Toni Storm, who's laying in the aisleway, sits up like the Undertaker, and she power walks to the ring to get in the ring to face Ronda Rousey, woman to woman. Before she did, we had security and officials backing Toni Storm away, backing Ronda Rousey away from each other. Marina Shafir knocked Toni Storm out, and Marina and Ronda leave together as Jon Moxley was getting ready to make his entrance to defend the Continental title against Konosuke Takeshita. Ronda Rousey made her AEW debut. All I heard on social media was that Ronda made her AEW debut, but she's this, she's that, she's this, she's that. She's a conspiracy theorist. She's an anti-vaxxer. She said some disparaging things about Sandy Hook being a conspiracy theory. The pro wrestling media is one of the most cancerous fucking sub-entities anywhere in any sport community, in any circle, on any social media platform. Pro wrestling media may be the absolute fucking worst ever. And you know who they are. The media and the fucking propaganda and the narratives that go out during an AEW pay-per-view week are so fucking nauseating. I don't even think these people realize how disingenuous they're being. It almost comes second nature to them. I hope the handshakes and the fucking circle jerking and the DMs and the private messages and the elbow rubbing to be fucking close to these people is all worth the credibility. There's not a genuine bone in the pro wrestling media's body. Zero. Just like the amount of tags that were in that FTR Young Bucks match. Fucking zero. The pro wrestling media disgusted by Ronda Rousey's previous actions. Disgusted by Ronda Rousey and what she said about Sandy Hook. Disgusted that Ronda Rousey doesn't like the LGBTQ community. Disgusted that Ronda Rousey is a conspiracy theorist and she said these terrible things, an anti-vaxxer, she didn't take the vax, and all this other nonsense. Shut the fuck up! How about that? How about that? Shut the fuck up. Nobody gives a fuck. Nobody gives a fuck about you politicizing anything in a fucking sport where we're trying to lose all that shit and leave it at the door and people want to escape. You bring it into this fucking circle and then you just make everything fucking absolute the dirt worst. How about you just simply say, Ronda Rousey fucking sucks. Her last WWE run was fucking terrible. And she doesn't belong in a pro wrestling ring. How about you leave it just at that? That would have been more than enough. No, we got to list all these lists of complaints, and then you politicizing everything, just like all the fucking dirt sheets when Brody King is out there. They can't wait to engagement farm. Oh, look, Los Angeles, they chanted fuck ICE at the Crypto Bank Arena during Brody King and Swerve Strickland tonight. Why is Ronda Rousey in AEW, chat? Has anybody legitimately asked this question? You're going to hear it from Sapp? You're going to hear it from Meltzer? Maybe you'll hear it from Meltzer. Maybe you'll hear it from Sapp because it puts a bad name on WWE and a bad name on TKO. So I won't be surprised if you actually get this response from a Sapp and a Meltzer and an Alba and all these other fucking cocksuckers in the community. The reason why Ronda Rousey is with AEW is because Tony Khan and AEW get off on anything negatively said about WWE. Just like WWE gets off by stealing this talent and stealing that talent and double dipping on a pay-per-view weekend where AEW has a pay-per-view. WWE's never shy about double booking that fucking weekend to get into AEW's playground. They're going to keep doing it, and it's going to happen until AEW's dead. Ronda Rousey was at a press conference last week and buried TKO for their business practices. Buried Dana White and UFC, calling the show that they're doing on the White House grounds garbage. Calling the card garbage and underwhelming. Saying that Dana White doesn't even book UFC the way he used to because he doesn't need to anymore. They're all in it for the fucking money. They're greedy, which she's not wrong. She's not wrong. Even if Dana White wanted Ronda Rousey to wrestle for the UFC, it doesn't matter. Ronda Rousey is still going to be a part of one of the biggest publicity situations that MMA has seen in many, many, many years. She's having her first match in May. And AEW brought her in because they get off on someone, in this case Ronda Rousey, talking shit and burying TKO, WWE, Dana White, Ari Emanuel, and everybody else. But the AEW sickos don't think. They're looking at it as, oh, well, Ronda Rousey's being brought in because this is going to look good when Paramount and Warner Brothers eventually sells and everything is squared away and Paramount buys Warner Brothers. Look, they got Ronda Rousey there. Look at the synergy, right? That's Nick Khan's favorite word. Synergy. That's TKO's favorite word, synergy. They think there's going to be synergy from Ronda Rousey and MMA and Paramount. Look at what we're doing. They don't give a fuck about any of that. They don't give a shit. They also don't give a shit about Ronda Rousey's conspiracy theories. They don't. Because Ronda Rousey's a moneymaker. Maybe with this match with Gina Carano, but for AEW, she's not going to be a fucking blip on the radar. This has nothing to do with synergy. This has nothing to do with looking good for Paramount, who's eventually going to own Warner Brothers Discovery. This is all about the fact that she said what she said. From TKO's side, he's bringing in someone that buried the competition. For Ronda Rousey, she's looking to get back at UFC. Hey, you guys are owned by TKO. I used to work for WWE. I'm going to go work for Tony Khan and AEW. You guys can fuck off. That's why she's here. That's why she's here. Oh, she's doing it to promote her fight. Promote what? Promote what? AEW legitimately had their biggest star have a role in Happy Gilmore 2 with other WWE stars like Bad Bunny and Becky Lynch. And where did that movie premiere, chat? Netflix. Netflix. Did you hear one advertisement? Did you hear one mention? Did you hear one commercial air on AEW Dynamite about their biggest star, their world champion, having a role in this movie, where you could watch it, how you could access it? Not a single fucking peep. Not a single peep. You think that AEW is going to allow Ronda Rousey on their show to promote their fucking fight? Her and Gina Carano. You think Tony Khan is going to allow Ronda Rousey to promote her fight on a WWE partner streaming platform in Netflix when they didn't afford MJF to do the same thing because he starred in Happy Gilmore alongside Adam Sandler on Netflix? Do you people not think? Do you people not think? Or is everybody in the fucking community this stupid? And the hypocrisy of it. All of a sudden, the sickos are going to worship the ground Ronda Rousey walks on now. Now Ronda Rousey is the best women's wrestler of all time. Meanwhile, 2 years ago, everybody couldn't wait to see Ronda Rousey disappear from WWE television. Ronda Rousey's this, Ronda Rousey's wash, Ronda Rousey's a terrible promo, Ronda Rousey's an awful wrestler. Now that she's with AEW, everybody's excited about Ronda Rousey and Toni Storm. What changed? The colors on the logo changed. That's what changed. Meanwhile, this is the same Ronda Rousey who hates professional wrestling. This is the same Ronda Rousey who said pro wrestling is fake and bullshit. This is the same Ronda Rousey that buried Becky Lynch and her submission move. This is the same Ronda Rousey that buried Alexa Bliss, calling Alexa Bliss laughable and the creative in WWE laughable. This is the same Ronda Rousey that gave us some of the worst television with the worst wrestling matches that the company has seen in the last decade. The hypocrisy on social media is going to be of epic proportions. I don't give a shit what Ronda Rousey said about Sandy Hook. I don't give a fuck if she jabbed herself or not. I don't give a fuck. You know who else wasn't jabbed? This guy right here. Because I opted not to. I don't give a shit what your beliefs are. I don't give a shit where you politically swing. Keep that shit at the fucking door. If you're in the wrestling media and you're fucking crying on social media that someone is anti-vax, that says more about you than it does about the person you're claiming is anti-vax. I don't give a fuck what Ronda Rousey does or says. I don't give a shit. You can do and say whatever the fuck you want. The fact that we may have to live with this woman on television when she makes her next appearance is the part I'm worried about. And the fact that she may be on television speaks volumes about how fucking terrible this decision is. She belongs nowhere near a pro wrestling ring. It benefits AEW in zero ways. The publicity Ronda Rousey got when she showed up at WrestleMania all those years ago and got into it with Stephanie McMahon and Triple H was at the height of her popularity. If we're operating at 100, Ronda Rousey in 2026 may be at 10%. Oh, but JD, what about her Ring of Honor run, man? She teamed with Marina against Athena. I'm sorry, who? And who watched it? The 8 people that are still subscribed to Honor Club. Nobody gives a shit. This was done as a publicity stunt for AEW, a publicity stunt for Ronda Rousey because she wants to create hype that she's fighting and she wants to be in the public spotlight. We pray to God that this is a one-off and it leads to nothing. Yes, because we need to see the four horsewomen of WWE all of a sudden ride into AEW. Who's next? Shayna Baszler? The one woman that I actually did like out of the entire group. Jessamine Duke, remember her? I would rather not. All of them failed at professional wrestling outside Shayna Baszler. Why would you want any of these women infiltrating AEW? I don't understand it. You don't hate the pro wrestling media enough. You don't. When you see someone politicize something about someone, and that's the reason they need to be off television instead of how fucking awful they are to the television show based on their profession, then you know who the real problem is. I don't get it. I don't get it. Will Ospreay. Will Ospreay's back a lot sooner than anybody anticipated him being back. He's back on AEW television. He showed up at the end of the Jon Moxley Takeshita match and seemingly is targeting Jon Moxley. Now, why is he targeting Jon Moxley? Well, the last time we saw Will Ospreay, he was taken out by the Death Riders. I believe it was at All Out or All In, one or the other, All In. He got stretchered out and they took him out. He aided in Hangman winning the championship. He was one of those guys that backed up Hangman winning the World Championship. We haven't seen him in quite some time. He went out. He had a neck issue. A lot of people thought he would be out for a lot longer. There was question marks surrounding if he was going to make it back in time for Wembley. Supposedly AEW had all these plans about Will Ospreay and Wembley and maybe him winning the Owen this year and getting the World Championship at Wembley this year. This was going to be his crowning moment for AEW. He showed up tonight. Looks great. Looks fantastic. Crowd popped major for his theme music. And he's targeting, first and foremost, Jon Moxley. Now, it does make storyline sense. There is consistency there. The only problem is Will Ospreay is unequivocally 100%, no doubt about it, babyface. Jon Moxley's been operating, leading a heel faction as a babyface. Did nobody think this through? I'm not sure I quite understand. Which is why we have a problem with the Death Riders operating the way that they currently sit right now on AEW television. Most of the group operates as a heel when they're working away from Jon Moxley. Jon Moxley operates as a babyface and does whatever the fuck he wants. He gets babyface reactions. He's got crowds cheering for him. He's cutting these babyface promos like he did at the end of the Classic. Why are we just willingly accepting the fact that the Death Riders are just all over the fucking place and they don't know what they want to be and what their mission statement is? One minute, everybody wants to take out the Death Riders and end the Death Riders' poison in AEW, and the next moment, they're stronger than ever. All they did was have Jon Moxley cut a babyface promo, and all of a sudden, they're back to full strength. Jon Moxley wins the Continental Classic. They're back to full strength. Poor Darby Allin's is wrestling the fucking Snore Dogs, which at this point, I don't even know what's worse, the MFTs and the Wyatt Six, or Darby and Friends, which sounds like a fucking Nickelodeon show for 4-year-olds. Darby and Friends, or the Boar Dogs. I don't know what's worse. Poor Darby Allin set out to kill the Death Riders, and now he's embroiled in this feud with fucking David Finlay, Gabe Kidd, and Clark Connors. Now Will Ospreay's back for what the Death Riders did. Are they going to be heel now 100%? How you got Jon Moxley operating as a 100% babyface in every match he wrestles with the Continental title, and then you bring back Will Ospreay as your second ace, the conquering hero this year, the guy you can't wait to crown the top guy, comes back as the biggest babyface of the night, going up against Jon Moxley. What is he? What are they? See, this is the plot hole that AEW seemingly just glosses over. Oh, it doesn't matter. Oh, they'll just exist the way that they want to be. Not when you bring back Will Ospreay and you have him go against Jon Moxley. What was the underlying reason why I need to cheer and support Jon Moxley? What's the reason? This is where the best wrestle. This Continental Championship is for everyone. Bro, you held the AEW World Championship in a fucking briefcase for 9 months collecting spider webs. Now I'm supposed to cheer you because you won a fucking grueling 12-man tournament? I don't give a shit. What are you doing for me, the fan? What did you do that I all of a sudden need to cheer you? And in this case, why am I cheering you over Will Ospreay? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. So he's back. At least it makes storyline consistency that he's going back and targeting the group that took him out. But now we got a problem with Will Ospreay coming back. He's a babyface. Jon Moxley's operating a babyface. But when the rest of the Death Riders, Pac and Danny Garcia and Claudio and Marina, and Yuta, they're all doing their own thing. They operate as a heel group. Again, what do I know? These are questions that even AEW doesn't have answers to. We're going to go over this show in the most streamlined way possible. I'm not sitting here breaking anything down. We'll talk about the MJF and Adam Page match because there was a lot that happened there. Everything else was... Seriously, half of this show could have been a fucking episode of Dynamite. But Tony Khan loves tiring his fan base out. People love watching this shit, and then people complain about why the fans are low energy and completely out of it. LA start making some noise. Well, I don't know. You're watching 5.5 hours of fucking pro wrestling. The crowd was tapped out after 2. We'll try and go over the rest of this show in the most streamlined way possible. This is Off the Script. It is your Monday, 3/16, 2026 AEW Revolution Post-Show. Thank you guys for 2,500. The fact that I got 2,500 in here at 2 o'clock in the morning is a testament to how I am the MJF of the entire IWC. Thank you guys for that. We got a big week coming up. I think, according to what I heard today, I think we have a major announcement for a new show. There will be a new show on Tuesday morning. No, it's not an extension of Tuesday Night Titans. Tuesday Night Titans will remain untouched. I will be live with Solid Monster on Tuesday night, 8:30. We'll be going over this show. But Tuesday morning, I believe, will be the debut episode of what is being announced tomorrow. It's going to be me and Jonathan Coachman. Not going to reveal what that show is. I'm not going to reveal the name of the show, but we have a brand new show every Tuesday morning at 11:30. It's going to be me and the coach. So keep an eye and an ear out for that. It's going to be some good stuff. I have a feeling this one's going to hit. Friday night, there will be no SmackDown stream, though I will keep up to date on what's happening because I am genuinely curious what Randy Orton's explanation is as to why he bloodied Cody Rhodes. I have family business to attend to, and I'm not sure if I will be able to get a review up because Saturday, I will be in Brentwood on Long Island for House of Glory. we will have our Super Clash show that is taking place at the Credit Suffolk Union Center. And I believe right now we have 4 matches announced, more to come. If you guys are going to be at that big event and then stay for the Super Clash, hopefully I see you guys out there. Follow us on social media at JDfromNY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for notifications. Make sure you go and check out all the great content on the channel. We've been uploading pretty decently over on the second channel. If you guys do not know, I have a second Clips channel. That's down below in the description. Go and check that out. If you guys are on the audio side of things, thank you for the great week. I think we topped out at number 20 in the United States on iTunes and Spotify. So thank you guys for that. Continue to support. Leave a comment, leave a rating on the audio side of things. Helps us out tremendously. Continue the momentum over there, man. Love it. And again, social media at JDfromNY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that thumbs up. We got 641 likes. I'd love to get at least 800 likes tonight. If you guys are in the chat and have not hit the thumbs up, it's a great way to support. Hit that thumbs up. 800 likes is the goal. Also, leave a comment. Let me know what you think of all the major happenings tonight down in the comment section. And super chats are open. That is the #1 way to support. So get them on in. We're going to hang out at the end of the show. As long as I am alive and breathing, I will be here to give you guys my time and run through all of the super chats. And we have a pretty great support system so far, and I got to shout him out because he came in big. My guy Cam G with a $100 super chat. Thank you, my brother Cam G. What's going on, JD? Why does this pay-per-view have to be this long? I should be asleep. And I don't look now because Ronda Rousey, drowsy, is back. Oh, please, God, no. Much love, JD. OTS for life. Cam G. Love it, love it, love it. Thank you, my brother. Thank you for the support. If you guys want to get in on the super chats, I would really appreciate it. So thank you guys very, very much. Start at the top here. Just a couple of notes from the 0 hour pre-show. Willow Nightingale successfully defended her TBS Women's Championship against Lena Kross. Story of that match was the shoulder of Willow, but Willow got the win. Kross set up for a jackhammer. Nightingale tried to escape. She did. She manages to get a backslide on Lena Kross, and she retains the TBS Women's title. As soon as Willow retained the TBS title, I was assuming that both Willow and Harley Cameron were losing the Women's Tag Team Championships, which was something that they double dipped on. Both Willow and Lena wrestled twice in one night. They both wrestled on the pre-show, and then they wrestled later on the actual pay-per-view. Why? I don't know. This is one of the matches that I mentioned previously that could have easily been slotted on Wednesday's Dynamite. Don't know why we needed both of them to wrestle twice. There are people in this company that haven't appeared on television in almost a year and a half. There are people in this company dying for television time, but we're using Willow and newcomer Lena Kross twice in one night. I don't know what sense that makes. So Willow retains here. I figured that they would lose her and Harley the tag team titles later in the night. 21-man Battle Royal. They call this one the Blackjack Battle Royal. Everything's got to have a casino themed. You would think that they would save something like this with the Blackjack Casino Vegas / Atlantic City vibe for maybe Double or Nothing. But Here we are with Revolution having a Blackjack Battle Royal. This one was for AEW's National Championship, held by Ricochet. Chat, can I go over who was in this match quickly? Rocky Romero, Austin Gunn. This is in order of eliminations, by the way. Rocky Romero, Austin Gunn, AR Fox, Johnny Impact, Johnny TV, Johnny Mundo, John Morrison. You get my drift. Johnny TV, who is now bald, by the way. Scorpio Sky, Leo Rush, who apparently has done away with the Koopa Troopa shell jackets that he was wearing with Action Andretti, and now is all of a sudden donning the gimmick of a zombie. I'm sure that's going to make waves on Dynamite. Dralistico, Anthony Bowens, Dalton Castle, The Beast Mortos, Trent Beretta, Danny Garcia, Commander, Katsuyori Shibata, Ace Austin, Tommaso Ciampa, Jack Perry, and El Clone. Ricochet's in there, obviously. He is the AEW National Champion. Chat, what do all the names that I just mentioned have in common? They are all lower card jobbers who basically find work on Ring of Honor or AEW Collision when needed. If you want me to take the AEW National Championship to be anywhere close to being serious, yet you want to throw these names out there competing over the National Championship, the names in this Battle Royal competing for the National Championship say all that you need to know about the value of the AEW National Championship. The title is fucking worthless. It was worthless from the day that it was fucking forged. It was worthless the day that Tony Khan received it via FedEx. Worthless. The only reason why it was created is because they wanted to give Ricochet some gold because he doesn't have the talent and he's not good enough to be championship elsewhere on the current AEW roster. They needed to make him feel important by giving him a fucking title that was worthless. When I'm telling any sort of lies, I would love for someone to stop me. The guy was a benefactor for a dead title just to feel important. And he felt important by holding a nothing title. Congratulations to Ricochet. This was the most nonsensical battle royal I ever seen. And again, it goes to show you that nobody micromanages anything when certain things should be micromanaged, looked over, and questioned. Bro, the first 5 minutes of this battle royal and then a few sequences within the battle royal until it ended. Bro, I never seen so many people on the outside of a ring in a battle royal in my entire life, when the whole concept of a battle royal is to get everybody in the ring, and then the only way to be eliminated is to get thrown over the top rope. AEW tries so hard to be so different, and yet they ignore the rules, do what they want, beat to the march of their own drum, and what exactly did they produce? They produced a nonsensical battle royal. It looked fucking like a complete comedy show. It was void of all logic. I would watch this thing, and within 10 minutes, I still see guys on the outside fighting. Bro, get in the fucking ring. Get in the ring. No, it was not a reverse battle royal. It was not a reverse battle royal. It was a blackjack battle royal. 21. How do you win blackjack? By 21. The Don't sit there in my fucking chat and tell me it was a reverse battle royal. It wasn't. Ridiculous. Tommaso Ciampa, did he win the battle royal? Of course he didn't. Can we jump on the Tommaso Ciampa is buried train yet? Guy lost to Danny Garcia on Collision. Guy then recreated his epic heel turn with Johnny Gargano with Mark Briscoe and now gets eliminated in the fucking battle royal. Because Juice Robinson was rock hard enough to eliminate Tommaso Ciampa. It came down to Jack Perry and Ricochet. I don't know why we just didn't do the one-on-one match when all roads led to Ricochet and Jack Perry in a one-on-one match. We didn't need 20 other jobbers in this battle royal. Jack Perry ended up winning. I thought Jack Perry was going to eliminate himself. By the way, speaking of eliminating themselves, Beast Mortos legitimately launched himself over the top rope and eliminated himself in a battle royal. Again, I don't know what I was watching. I was watching a fucking comedy show, a circus. So Perry's hanging on. He's skinning the cat. He hangs onto the rope. Perry then saves himself. He levels Ricochet. And he's got Ricochet down on the mat. Ricochet's barely holding onto the bottom rope, maybe with one finger. And I'm like, shove him out! Jack Perry, all he needed to do was shove Ricochet out of the ring and win the match. What does he do? He goes up to the top rope. Ricochet gets up. He gets Jack Perry on his shoulders. Perry then delivers a reverse Hurricane Rana. Ricochet crashes to the floor, and Jack Perry is the new AEW National Champion. Sure, the championship is going to fare a lot better on Jack Perry than it was on Ricochet, said no one ever. The title is fucking worthless. Worthless. The fucking cap to my Afrin nose spray is more valuable than the national championship. FTR. By the way, the Battle Royal, they did that stupid gimmick where they go and cut away from the pre-show and the end of the Battle Royal, and I'm watching on Verizon, which I heard you HBO Max watchers had a very difficult time watching the show, and I also heard Tony Khan shut off all replies on his Twitter while people were complaining about the HBO Max feed failing during the show. I guess it doesn't matter anymore because they're not going to be with HBO Max in the coming months. Being that Paramount is probably going to shut them down. They did the gimmick where they stopped the show, the pre-show, and I'm looking at the fucking warning label that comes on before the pay-per-view. Don't illegally stream. It's unauthorized, right? And we go right into Revolution. And the fucking Battle Royal is still going on. We got Jack Perry in there. We got Tommaso Ciampa, Juice Robinson, and Ace Austin in there. They're all battling out. Fireworks and fire going off. I'm like, bro, how fucking cringe can you be, bro? How cringe can you be? I would rather them give me a nice video like montage or introduction with a nice cool voiceover and some fucking banger music to get us ready for the pay-per-view. Announcers lead us into the show. Fireworks go off. No, I got to see fucking Ace Austin and Juice Robinson battling it out in a fucking worthless battle royal for a worthless title. Bro, you're not getting any new viewers with this gimmick stunt. And you're not cool. Let's cut the shit. Again, trim the fat. So this match ended 5 minutes after the top of the hour. And we go right from that into the Tag Team Championship match, which opened the show. FTR with Stokely defends the Tag Team Championships against the Young Bucks. So the Young Bucks come out first. They had their children. All the children in the family make their way out to the ring. And they really wanted to drum up the sympathy card for the Young Bucks. They had this very heartwarming video montage, clips of their family and their children explaining why they love their dads so much and how they're the best fathers in the world and how they want them to kick FTR's ass. This was the 5th time that these two teams were meeting. 5 different times. I think we are all over the Young Bucks and FTR feud. Nowhere in the annals of AEW history are people going to look back and reminisce on the feud that the Young Bucks and FTR had in AEW. None of the matches that they've had are even in the top 5 greatest tag team matches in AEW history. I don't know why anybody was excited about this to begin with. I'll give them a little bit of credit. They tried to drum up some tension by doing the dastardly thing and attacking the Young Bucks family and pile driving the Bucks' other brother, Malachi, on Collision and putting their hands on Papa Buck. I'll give them a little bit of credit. If they did that with their last feud, I wouldn't have shit on it so badly. No, instead they used footage of Jack Perry and CM Punk and then tried to pawn it off as, yeah, we're using this for storyline purposes. No, you did it because you were desperate and you were angry because CM Punk went on Ariel Helwani's podcast and said bad things about your company. This was not a bad match. The only problem I had with the match were 3 different things. Outside that, the in-ring aspect of it and the tension, the feud between both teams was properly portrayed here. The first problem I had is that 17 minutes into the pay-per-view, the Young Bucks are bleeding buckets. Why would you start the show off with both teams bleeding buckets when you know good and well that you have a Texas Deathmatch main eventing this show, and there's probably going to be more blood in that match than we see all month on AEW television? If you want to bleed, go to a blood bank and donate your blood to people who could use it. There was absolutely no reason why anybody in this match should be bleeding. None. That's number 1. Number 2. Where are the tags? Or am I just completely out of the loop and oblivious to everything? Which is it? I know it's not that, because I know what I was watching. Bro, I don't think there was maybe a single tag in this entire match. Now, unless it was labeled the Texas Tornado match, and they changed the rules on the day of the show. Bro, where are the tags? Rick Knox is in there, and I don't think I seen a single fucking tag throughout the duration of this match. Everybody's just doing what they want. How is that tag team wrestling? Bro, you got FTR in there, who is arguably the greatest tag team of the modern era, and not one fucking person made a single fucking tag. Not one. The third thing I didn't like about this is the kick out at 1. Bro, unless, I don't know who it was. Was it Matt Jackson? Nick Jackson? I don't even remember who it was. It was one of the Bucks. Bro, they kicked out at a 1 on a shatter machine. Bro, unless you are the fucking Undertaker in 1994, you should not be kicking out at a fucking 1. Nobody should be kicking out at a 1. Nobody. How am I supposed to look at that as a serious thing? Nick? It was Nick. Nick Jackson kicked out at a 1. Bro, unless your name is Old School Undertaker Brock Lesnar, you should not be kicking out of the fucking one. I'm sorry. And that was the common theme throughout the first 3 matches of this show, which goes to show you that Tony Khan is oblivious to everything that goes on. He's basically a owner / cheerleader, and he doesn't give a fuck what happens on his show. As long as he gets to mingle with his pro wrestling toys, it doesn't matter. Outside that, the match was fine. I was genuinely shocked by the outcome because I thought everything that they did with the video package and the entrance with the Bucks coming out with the family's children and the fact that one of their sons, I think it was Matt Jackson on the outside, his son was there touching his head, consoling his father. Go and kick their ass, Dad. Go and kick their ass, Dad. Go win those championships. I'm like, gee, I wonder who's going to win this fucking match. Matt and Nick set up for the Meltzer driver. Stokely stands up and trips up Nick. He's healed. Miraculously, he's healed. FTR then catches Nick with the Shatter Machine. He gets pinned. Nick kicks out. FTR then lands an assisted pile driver on Nick, and Dax pins him. Nick gets his foot on the bottom rope to break the fall. They couldn't believe it. FTR have a super kick party with Nick, deliver the FTR trigger, a take on their BTE trigger. Nick comes alive and he fires up. He lands a BTE trigger on Harwood. Nick pins Harwood, but Harwood kicks out. Nick then lands a dive through the middle rope. He takes Stokely out. Bucks connect with a Meltzer driver on Harwood. Nick pins Harwood, but Harwood kicks out. And then FTR catches Nick with a Shatter Machine for the 1-2-3. FTR wins and retains the Tag Team Championships. I did not expect that. I thought that the Young Bucks would win the titles. I genuinely thought we were moving on from Copeland and Christian and dropping the whole FTR thing because it's 8 months. It's 8 months. Speaking of which, lights go out. Another thing Tony Khan loves to do. Everybody's got to come back with the lights going out. Lights go out. They come back on. We see the words even on the big screen. We go from even and then revenge. Adam Copeland's music hit. He makes his way out. Christian Cage's music hits. He sneaks up from behind FTR as they're fixated as FTR on Copeland, who did his big entrance with the fireworks going off. He sprays something in Wheeler's face. I don't know if it was mace or another substance, but he sprays something in Wheeler's face. He lands his kill switch on Dax. Copeland spears Wheeler, leaving Stokely alone in the ring with Copeland and Cage. Cage connects with a kill switch after Stokely wanted to shake his hand, and in a comical moment, he takes Christian's hand and shakes it, but Christian pulls him in and delivers a kill switch, and then they dump him from the ring. Copeland and Cage hold up the AEW Tag Team Championships. The Young Bucks come up from behind. They have a stare down with Copeland and Christian. Copeland and Christian back away. They put the tag team titles on the floor. And that's the way the segments came to an end. Now, I don't know what we're doing. I could absolutely see one of two things happen here. I could see FTR and Copeland Christian at the pay-per-view in Toronto at Dynasty. They win the tag team titles, this Copeland Christian. And then they wrestle the Young Bucks and set up for the Young Bucks at All In. I could see it. I could absolutely see it. Or I could see this triangle of tag team nonsense. Long play it out till All In. We get to Wembley, and we do Copeland Christian versus the Young Bucks versus FTR in a tables, ladders, and chairs match for the tag team championships. And at that point, AEW tries to recreate in 2026 the same magic that the Hardys Edge and Christian and the Dudleys did all those years ago. TLC. I don't know if they're going to wait that long. They very well could do that match in Toronto. We could get Copeland Christian versus the Young Bucks versus FTR in Toronto. Triple threat match, ladder match, tables, ladders, and chairs match, whichever, for the tag team titles. And then maybe we get Copeland Christian defending against the Bucks at All In. But I think the play here is you do a match with FTR. They don't necessarily win the titles right away. Bucks maybe come out and interfere, cause a distraction, leads to some nonsense. We start slow building to Wembley, and we do the triple threat match, TLC match at Wembley. I could see it. Because honestly, I genuinely think that this is Adam Copeland's last hurrah. I think this is his last year. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. Match was fine. I'm over this feud. Don't really care about Bucks and FTR. It's nice to have Copeland Christian back. It's going to be very difficult for AEW to heat up this angle because they took 8 months. They didn't mention a single fucking thing. Nothing was really advanced or progressed. And now all of a sudden they want me to go back to September because now Copeland Christian are back and reheat the angle up. No, it doesn't work that way. You waited too long. It's like leaving your food out on the fucking kitchen counter and you leave it there for 8 months. Or you want to go back? Do you want to go back and fucking eat it? Hey, let me heat it back up, man. It'll taste the same. No, it's stale. It's fucking rotten and ready for fucking tomorrow's garbage. FTR win. Surprised by that. I thought the Bucks would win. Decent match to open the show. We didn't need the blood. We didn't need the 1 count. And we didn't need a tag team match that basically operated under Texas Tornado rules unadvertised. There was 0 fucking tags in this match. 0. Toni Storm. She wrestled Marina Shafir. Everybody was banned from ringside, meaning the conglomeration and the Death Riders. The less I talk about a Marina Shafir one-on-one match, the better I will be. The woman is terrible. She's one of the most boring in-ring performers in the entire company. There's nothing redeeming about what she does. If I want to go watch submission wrestling, I go watch Eric Bischoff's fucking promotion. Whatever it's called. I don't need to see this shit here. Toni Storm wins. Shafir caught Toni with a series of kicks right to the spine and then some to the chest. Storm ends up biting Marina's foot and throws her back into the ring because they were on the outside. And then she delivers the sweet chic music, the hip attack in the corner. Storm 0. She goes for a pin. Marina kicks out before Storm manages to roll her up with the big package for the 1, 2, 3. After the match, Toni Storm retreats up the aisle. She lays on the stage. She's swimming in adulation as she beat Marina. Ronda Rousey appears out of nowhere and calls for Toni Storm to get back in the ring. She's motioning with her finger and she's pointing to the ring. Get in the ring. Now, the crowd gave her a very lukewarm reaction. Toni Storm gets up. She sits up like The Undertaker. She power walks to the ring. The two stare each other down. Security officials run out. They keep them separated. Marina clocked Toni from behind, and she laid there on the apron. Rousey and Marina leave through the crowd as Mina Shirakawa ran out to check on her lover, Toni Storm. So Marina and Rousey are in the crowd. They're telling everybody, fuck off. You don't appreciate shit. They're berating the crowd. And then they walk around to the tunnel where Jon Moxley is there, and he's making his way out to the ring. Now, Marina meets Jon Moxley in the crowd. She starts slapping him in the face, trying to wake him up for his match against Takeshita. Ronda Rousey pounds him on the chest. Is Ronda Rousey now an unofficial member of the Death Riders? Is she in for a one-off? Why is she in to begin with? I don't need to go over what I said about Ronda Rousey. You want my full, unadulterated opinion on Ronda Rousey, all you need to do is go back and listen to the first half of this podcast. She doesn't belong in an AEW ring. She doesn't belong in a pro wrestling ring, period. Jon Moxley. He defended the Continental title against Konosuke Takeshita. This was easily the best match of the first hour. Oh, by the way, Toni Storm also kicked out at a 1. She kicked out at a 1. Speaking of kickouts at a 1, Konosuke Takeshita also kicked out at a 1. This was the best match of the 3 that opened this show. And I always say, if you want the perfect professional wrestler, if you want to put a pro wrestler in the oven and out pops a perfect professional wrestler, Konosuke Takeshita is this generation's perfect wrestler. He is fucking fantastic. The guy is truly incapable of having a bad match. And yes, I have to do it. I have to do it because he calls for it. Ronda Sorry. You know what? Speaking of Ronda, you know, I caught her. I caught her. I was out. I walked town this afternoon. I got a coffee and a nice Greek yogurt bowl, right, for brunch. I caught her. Listen, I was on my phone. I was playing Pokemon Go, and I caught her. Look, you can't see it because he's yellow, but hey, there he is. Look at Drowsy. There he is. Look at him. There he is. Look at that, man. Ronda. I caught Ronda today in Pokemon Go. You see that? Konosuke Takeshita and Jon Moxley. What is that? What is that, Drowsy? Is that a 3-star Drowsy? Yeah, man. Look at those IVs over there, man. Look at that. Come on, camera. Will you fucking, there you go, man. Look at that. Look at that. That's a, what is that? That's a 97 Drowsy I got, man. Oh, man. Maybe we should evolve him. Then he won't be Ronda anymore. We'll keep him this way. Konosuke Takeshita. This was the best match of the 3. I was genuinely terrified, man. I thought this was going to go at least 40 minutes. This went 20 minutes, a little bit over 20 minutes. I'm like, holy shit. They did the right thing. They did the right thing. We'll pick it up at the end here, man. This was excellent stuff. This was not better than a lot of people were like, oh, man, this is the match of the year so far. No, it's not match of the year. Kyle Fletcher with Tommaso Ciampa and Kyle Fletcher with Speedball this past Wednesday, I think, are match of the year so far in AEW. We're keeping it to AEW. This was a great match. I think out of the recent Jon Moxley matches with Don Callis family members, I would probably slot this right underneath the match he had with Fletcher in the Continental Classic. The semifinals. I'll take that match over this one, but this one was still excellent. Jon Moxley has stated that he's not in his final form yet. I don't know what the fuck that means. Is he Pokemon? The fuck does final form look like with Jon Moxley? We'll pick it up at the end here. Moxley, he delivers an exploder suplex. After Takeshita powered up, he delivers an exploder suplex of his own. Moxley comes back with one of his own. And then they exchange exploder suplexes before Moxley runs over Takeshita with a big gargantuan clothesline. Takeshita kicks out. He then delivers Raging Fire to Takeshita, pins him. Moxley kicks out at the last second, which was dangerously close. And I don't know if this is true or not. Excalibur threw out the factoid that Raging Fire connected, and Jon Moxley is the first man to kick out of Raging Fire. I wasn't sure that was true, but he said it. Takeshita then set up for a running knee on Moxley. His knee gave out. This opened up Moxley to land a Death Rider on Takeshita and pin him, but Takeshita managed to kick out of the Death Rider. Moxley and Takeshita, they are battling on the ropes. Moxley delivered a Death Rider off the middle rope. Takeshita kicks out of 2. Moxley transitioned into the Bulldog Choke, and Takeshita fades away. You don't tap out, he fades away. And Jon Moxley retains the Continental Championship. After the match, Pac, Wheeler Yuta, Danny Garcia join Moxley at ringside. Moxley extends his hand in respect to Takeshita. He looks to leave the ring, does Takeshita. He was about to walk away, but he ultimately gets back inside and shakes Jon Moxley's hand. Lights go out again because it's Tony Khan's favorite gimmick. A video begins to play of a lab technician looking at an x-ray of a neck. And we see Will Ospreay training. Now, the doctor/technician here looked almost like Johnny Sins. The porn star, Johnny Sins. They were in LA, so I don't know if Johnny Sins took a low-paying gig to play said doctor here for Will Ospreay. Would be kind of weird, but it did look similarly to Johnny Sins. So, we see Will Ospreay training. Ospreay then makes his way out to the ring. He gets a massive reaction. He takes off his jacket. He takes off his shirt. He takes out Pac. He takes out Yuta. He takes out Garcia. And then he goes and tries to get to Jon Moxley, but Jon Moxley eventually retreats. Now, I'm all for a Will Ospreay-Jon Moxley match. But the fans in LA were so wanting to see Takeshita win the title. Like, they were clamoring for it. They were ready for it. Jon Moxley went through all of the Don Callis family to get to this point. And then even tonight, he beat Takeshita. I don't know what the whole purpose was. But the only thing I could think of is with this loss and with him defying the Don Callis family and shaking their enemy's hand, I think this may land Takeshita in hot water. Maybe on Wednesday we see them kick Takeshita out of the Don Callis family. Where that leaves him and his championship aspirations, that remains to be seen. I don't know. I don't know. It's very confusing because now they have Jon Moxley and Will Ospreay prepped for a feud. If that's the case, and they begin feuding, and I'm assuming this match is going to take place at Dynasty, do they have Will Ospreay win the Continental title? Why does Will Ospreay need the Continental title? Why couldn't we give the Continental title to Konosuke Takeshita and have Jon Moxley feud with Will Ospreay in a feud that doesn't need the Continental Championship? Why couldn't we get the belt on Takeshita and start building the program between Takeshita and Okada over the next few months with them being jealous of one another, looking for Don Callis's praise and acknowledgement? That would have been an easier way to go about it. Now you're going to put yourself in a situation where Will Ospreay and Jon Moxley feud, and there's only one outcome there. Will Ospreay's going to have to win, unless it's a non-title match. Will Ospreay seemingly looks like he's going to win the Continental title, but why didn't we give the title to Takeshita? Jon Moxley and Will Ospreay doesn't need the Continental title. We don't even know if Moxley's a heel or a babyface any fucking more. Where does that leave Takeshita with the Continental Championship? I'm assuming they're prepping a Takeshita and Okada feud. Here we thought that Takeshita was going to be the Continental Champion, Okada was going to be the International Champion, and come all in at Wembley, they just unify the championships again. And go back to having them unified. I don't know what the situation is anymore. It'd be funny if they drag all this fucking out to next year's Continental Classic, or this year's Continental Classic. In December, I would have had Takeshita win the championship. There's no reason Moxley needs the championship anymore. No reason. Excellent match. In my opinion, wrong outcome. Willow Nightingale and Harley Cameron, they defended the AEW Women's Tag Team Championships against Megan Bayne and Lena Kross. Again, this match could have easily taken place on Dynamite. Toni Storm and Marina Shafir could have easily taken place on Dynamite. We didn't need these two matches on the show. We didn't. We didn't need Harley wrestling. We didn't need Willow wrestling twice. We didn't need Lena Kross wrestling twice. It's ridiculous. I am glad, though. I am glad that AEW has eliminated this dual championship nonsense. They did it with Willow. She's still the TBS champion, but she's no longer the tag team champion with Harley. It's about time Megan Bayne has won championship gold in AEW, and this was her first tag team championship reign. She beats Willow with Lena and Harley. They are the new tag team champions. I actually quite like Lena Kross and Megan Bayne. I think they are a great-looking tag team. That's all I'll say. The match didn't really do much of anything because Willow came in hurt. They had an interview with her saying that she was medically cleared to compete in this match after the shoulder injury that she suffered in her match on the 0 Hour with Lena Kross defending the TBS title. Like I said before, the fact that she retained that championship, it was almost certain that she was losing the tag team titles here with Harley to Lena and Megan Bayne. I think Megan Bayne makes a much better partner for Lena and vice versa than Penelope Ford. It sucks that Penelope Ford has had a string of bad luck and a string of injuries, but these two women make the tag team better. I actually quite like the way that they synergize. Is that word? Synergy. It's a great-looking tag team. Right outcome here. Megan Bayne and Lena Kross win. Kross catches Nightingale with a kick to her head. Nightingale is out. Double choke slam by her and by Megan Bayne and Lena Kross. Double choke slam finish, and that was basically all she wrote. It's basically all she wrote. New tag team champions. Swerve Strickland. He went one-on-one with Brody King. This match was to determine who the most dangerous man in AEW was. As if that means anything. Swerve and Prince Nana make their way out to the ring. I don't know what Swerve was dressed up as tonight, but he quite looked like the fisherman from I Know What You Did Last Summer. That's the vibe I got from Swerve tonight at Revolution. Brody came out. We got some light chants of fuck ice, and people were barking, and everybody loves Brody. This was one of those matches that I had a problem with when it came to the outcome. I just don't understand why there is no communication with everybody and why it's so fucking lackadaisical when it comes to the creative. This was a fine match. I thought they worked very well together. There was a spot on the outside. The ring mat was pulled up. We got some shenanigans on the outside. So we get a big move on the outside. I think we get a vertebreaker by Swerve on the outside. He comes crashing down on his backside, and he delivers a vertebreaker to Brody King on the exposed concrete. I mean, I don't know why this is. I guess it goes in line with him being the most dangerous man in AEW. It also may go in line with him being the stupidest man in AEW, because if you want to be out with a fucking broken tailbone, then please, by all means, pull up the wrestling mat and start dropping people on the fucking concrete. So we go back in the ring. Strickland exposes a turnbuckle. He starts teasing that he's going to jam Brody's face into the exposed steel with a big curb stomp. Brody sends Swerve crashing into the corner. He sits on him on the top rope. Or he sits him on the top rope. Strickland gets out. Brody lands a crossbody on Swerve. Connects with a cannonball on him. Sends Swerve's head crashing into the exposed turnbuckle. Michinoku driver to Swerve. Cover. Swerve kicks out. So Brody sets up for the Gonzo bomb. And he tries to do this on the exposed concrete. Like I said, Swerve escaped and delivered a vertebreaker to Brody on the exposed concrete. He slides back into the ring. The referee begins counting to 10. Brody beats it at a 9.9. Swerve catches Brody with a swerve stomp off the top rope. Goes for cover. Brody kicks out. Swerve then quickly catches Brody with not one but two house call kicks. And that was enough for the win. Swerve gets the victory over Brody. He's now officially the most dangerous man in AEW. After the match, Prince Nana grabbed a cinder block from underneath the ring, and he wanted to further cement, pun intended, that Swerve was the most dangerous man in AEW. He placed Brody's head on top of the cinder block. Strickland goes to the top rope, and all of a sudden, Kenny Omega's music hit. He runs out to the ring, and he forces Swerve to retreat. King then raises Omega's hand. So, let me get this straight. We don't book Swerve versus Omega for the pay-per-view. We do it on Dynamite a few weeks ago. Great match. People wanted more of it. Swerve solidified his soft heel turn. We don't do this match at the pay-per-view because we read and we become aware that Kenny Omega is wrestling in the Capcom Cup for a Street Fighter tournament that takes place in Tokyo, Japan. We were told that Kenny Omega wasn't even going to be at the pay-per-view or a part of the pay-per-view in any way, because he's competing in this Capcom Cup, and to make the flight from Japan to Los Angeles with no delay or anything of that nature could be a 9 to 12-hour flight. So instead they do Swerve and Brody King at the pay-per-view, and then maybe in the next pay-per-view cycle, maybe we revisit Swerve and Kenny Omega, being that Dynasty's taking place in Toronto. We become aware of this situation. Kenny Omega ends up showing up at the pay-per-view. He ends up sending Swerve running away after an attempted cinder block spot. He wanted to basically Keith Lee Brody King. Now the potential match is going to be back on for Dynasty in Canada. Kenny Omega is going to be cheered heavily in Canada. I'm assuming that Kenny Omega will beat Swerve and get his win back. I'm assuming Kenny Omega will then become the number one contender to MJF and the World Championship. If Kenny Omega was in the building, why didn't we have Kenny Omega come out and cost Swerve the match and give Brody the win? I don't know. Are we just not in the business of protecting Brody King? I don't know. If you had him there and you had access to him, why didn't he factor into the outcome to at least protect Brody King? If you didn't want to beat Swerve, have Omega out there to cause a DQ so that we don't need to give Brody King another L. Where does Brody go now? He loses clean. He's a loser. He wants to talk all this game about being the most dangerous man in AEW. He lost. And now he's even further in the back of the line for the World Championship. Why was nothing done to protect Brody King? Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm not supposed to know because I'm not in the business, quote unquote. But I do have questions as to why you got a guy there who has aspirations of going for the world title, and then you just willingly hand him a clean loss. Doesn't make sense to me. Doesn't make sense to me. Like, I understand AEW is not in the business of DQs, but you got them at your disposal. When you got one that makes sense, start using them. It's like you got a lifeline playing Who Wants to Be a Millionaire and you don't use it. You got fucking 3 of them things saved up. Use one. Swerve wins. I'm assuming we get Omega and Swerve at the pay-per-view. Where MJF goes for the World Championship, I have no fucking clue. Maybe we do Swerve and MJF. Maybe we do Omega and someone else. Then we do Swerve and Omega on a Dynamite. Kenny gets his win back. And then Kenny gets MJF for Double or Nothing. Because I know I've been on record saying I think Swerve Strickland's going to be the next in line. I think Swerve and MJF may be the Dynasty main event. They haven't done that match yet in AEW. I think maybe Kenny Omega and Swerve happens in the middle of that Dynasty Double or Nothing road. And then we do MJF and Omega at Double or Nothing. Because if they do Omega and Swerve at Dynasty, then who does MJF wrestle? Maybe they do MJF and Andrade. They could do that. They don't necessarily need to do MJF and Swerve right now. It would be foolish for them not to do that match now. So they either do it now or save it. I don't know. I guess we'll know more on Wednesday night. They're going to have to set somebody up for MJF. Thekla, Jesse. Thekla. Jesse's not here. Jesse didn't want to be here. He's still not feeling great. He'll be back on Wednesday. Or maybe they'll do Swerve, MJF, and Kenny. Could be a possibility. Could be a possibility. I could see them do Swerve and Kenny again on Dynamite, and yes, lead to a triple threat match. Sudeep, good call on that, brother. Good call on that. Thekla, Jesse, Thekla. She went one-on-one with Kris Statlander, 2 out of 3 falls for the AEW Women's Championship. A lot of speculation right now about Kris Statlander and where she's going to end up. Is she going to WWE? Is her contract coming up soon? I don't know. I can tell you right now, I'm not a soothsayer or a fucking fortune teller, but I can instantly tell that that woman is genuinely unhappy with her current positioning in the company. Did you hear the reaction that Kris Statlander got tonight, chat? It's exactly why she's upset. She's been given absolutely no opportunity to get herself over with the constant creative changes and the heel turn and babyface turn and the character changes and the fucking lack of story and the feuds that she's had and the lack of direction. I mean, this woman won the World Championship in the most nonsensical, unenthusiastic, fucking last-minute way that someone can win a World Championship. She won it in a fatal 4-way by pinning Toni Storm. And then they had her wrestle Toni Storm one-on-one and beat Toni Storm. And then they had her wrestle Mercedes and beat Mercedes. Bro, how do you beat Toni Storm twice and then Mercedes Moné and you are still not over? in every situation, they've told zero story with Kris Statlander. We've gotten zero progression character-wise from Kris Statlander. You've sabotaged this woman at every twist and turn, and it resulted in an awful title run. And I don't want to hear anything from anybody. When you give her nothing, the results will be nothing. 2 out of 3 falls here. Thekla caught Statlander with a trio of kicks. Statlander kicks out after a pinfall. Thekla then pinned Statlander by holding onto the rope away from the referee to get the first fall. So she stole a pinfall for the first fall here. Second fall went to Statlander managed to send Thekla crashing into the barricade, and then she swings Thekla from barricade to barricade, and then sends her crashing into the ring steps, throws her back into the ring. She lands a running knee on Thekla, follows it up with a Michinoku driver, and goes for a pin. Thekla kicks out. She gets up, fires some chops on Stat. Stat is in a position now and sends Thekla crashing into the mat with Saturday Night Fever, drops her on her head, 1, 2, 3, and she scores the pinfall to win the second fall. Third fall, Thekla. She wins the third fall, retains the title. She pretends to be injured, sends Stat crashing into the referee. She kicks the referee in the midsection and goes over to the referee on the outside and starts playing with his pants. Lucky guy. Right, Jesse. Thekla Jesse. So she removes this guy's belt. Statlander fends off Thekla, lands a Saturday Night Fever on her again. She goes for a pin. The referee is not there. Referee's still down. Julia Hart and Sky Blue. Sky Blue, she needed the money. Oh! If you're not a fan of old school dice, you're a fucking weirdo. That's where it comes from. It's all a joke. Calm down. Sky Blue, she needed the money. And Julia Hart out there. Statlander starts whipping them with the belt. Takes them out with a double clothesline. Referee finally comes to life. Grabs the belt from Statlander. This opens the door for Thekla to land a spear and 2 curb stomps on Stat for the 1, 2, 3. Thekla is still the AEW Women's Champion. I think Stat's on her way out. I mean, what's the point of this? Oh, man, they're going to get another match with Thekla and Stat. She's going to beat Thekla out for the world title. All right, what's after that? I'd love to know what comes after that. Who do you got lined up for Stat when she wins the title back from Thekla? Mercedes? Only to drop the title to Mercedes so that she can collect the one belt she didn't win yet. Bro, if Stat is a free agent, I am urging her immensely. Do not be blinded by Tony Khan's incoming huge money offer. Don't. I know it's going to be big money and it's going to be tough to say no. Bro, walk into NXT and own the fucking division. At least at that point, you'll be given a character and some creative direction and you will be over. You'll get over with that audience instead of fucking walking out to dead silence and crickets and nobody reacting. Bro, the Los Angeles crowd did not react to anything, at least up until the final fall. When the referee went down, that's when the crowd in Los Angeles started to come to life. Don't. The woman needs to get out. We could be legitimately looking at Statlander and Anna Jay, because she's also due soon as well, walk into WWE. What more can she do there? She's beaten the top 2 women in the division. At the same time, they've given her no story. What's next? TBS Championship? Done that. Tag Team Championships? Who gives a shit? What are we doing? Bro, this is the end of the road for Stat. The end. They got their new flavor of the week in Lena Kross. Stat's old news. The Don Callis family. Mark Davis, Kyle Fletcher, and Kazuchika Okada. Both who are double champions, by the way, in Fletcher and Okada. Fletcher's the TNT champion, and Okada is the international champion, along with the Trios champion. They defended the Trios titles against Jet Speed, Kevin Knight, and Mike Bailey, along with their new partner now, Mistico. Wow. Would love to know what the relationship is with Mistico, Mike Bailey, and Kevin Knight, but fuck me for asking. Bro, this could have been the main event of Dynamite on Wednesday. I don't know why we needed this to take place on the pay-per-view. So, let's backtrack, chat. We got this, which could have easily been saved for Dynamite. We've had Marina, Shafir, and Toni Storm, which could have been saved for Dynamite. And what else was on this show that could have been saved for Dynamite? The tag team titles with the women. Willow and Harley with Lena, Kross, and Megan Bayne. Bro, the first half of this show had matches, 3 matches that could have easily been saved for Dynamite. And you and me and everybody else on the East Coast could have at least had an hour and 15 minutes shaved off this show. But what do I know, man? I'm only sitting in front of a virtual fucking bar at 3 o'clock in the fucking morning talking about AEW Revolution on YouTube. Bro, this was a waste of my time. I didn't give a fuck coming in. I didn't give a shit coming out. I don't give a fuck who the Trios champions are. And I mean that for the rest of my days watching AEW. They are fucking worthless. All they do is take the shine away from the tag team division and the tag team titles. I don't care. Jet Speed and Mistico win the Trios championships. Oh, man! Let's throw a fucking party. We got new Trios champions after we just crowned new Trios champions in the Don Callis family. The only reason why they took the Trios championships off of Hangman, Mike Bailey, and Kevin Knight is because they wanted to get Hangman into the main event without having him to worry about defending the Trios championships. They never wanted Jet Speed to lose the Trios championships. The only reason why Hangman was in that spot was because when Hobbs was in the ops, they did what they needed to do to get him out of the company. He walked into WWE. They legitimately booked the match live on Dynamite for Collision. They had Paige pin Hobbs. Hobbs went to WWE. Here they now have creative with Hangman holding a Trios championship, but they didn't need it. They didn't want it. They wanted him to feud with MJF. So they had this guy holding a championship that he was never intended to hold. They needed to get the belts off the ops because Hobbs was going somewhere else. So then they put the belts on the Don Callis family, only to then put them back on Kevin Knight and Speedball, but with Mistico as their tag team partner. And now they didn't even tell the fucking story about why Mistico all of a sudden was thrusted into this Trios tag team. What's the relationship? Where did he come from? Why? Jet Speed and Mistico win the Trios championships. This was a great ending. Kevin Knight is super fucking talented. Mistico sent Fletcher crashing into the mat face first. Crossface on Fletcher. Bailey takes out Davis with a super kick, and Kevin Knight lands a UFO splash on Mark Davis. This was great because Bailey, he's taken out Davis, and then you see Mistico have the crossface on Fletcher, and Kevin Knight jumps over them to hit this UFO splash on Mark Davis, who's legitimately 75% away from where Kevin Knight is standing on the top rope. Great spot. They win the Trios titles. At the end of this match, we get a graphic that appears on the jumbo screen. Mistico is now officially all elite. So Mistico is now working CMLL and AEW. He's got one of them dual contracts. To do what exactly? Is this like a plan? Are they going to plan to push the biggest Mexican luchador in the world to new heights in superstardom? Or are they going to bury him on Collision and Tony Khan is going to use him in this fantasy realm that he has? Man, I can't wait to watch Mistico and Commander on Saturday night. How much you want to bet? His first few matches are against the Beast Mortos and Commander and El Clone. Bro, this guy signs with AEW to become the newest, shiniest toy in Tony Khan's toy chest. I can't wait for those 250,000 to watch Mistico wrestle El Clone on Saturday night's Collision. Give me a fucking break. Everybody's jumping over the moon for this. Oh, this is a great sighting. To do what? To do what? Bandito. He went one-on-one with Andrade El Idolo. This was the second, I wouldn't say the second best. I enjoyed the main event the most, I'd say. I would say this was the third best match of the night. Main event with MJF and Adam Page was number 1. Jon Moxley and Takeshita number 2, and then this was number 3. Andrade gets the win here. Very good match. This was fun. There was really no story coming into this thing. It was just a fun, great match between two fucking great professional wrestlers. So they tease taking their pants off here. Andrade tease taking his pants off to wow the ladies in the front row. He said, no. Nobody's seeing the goods yet. So Bandito tries to take his pants off. He actually takes his pants off to reveal he's got shorts underneath. But the comical thing is, Bandito had a wardrobe malfunction and could not get his pants off. So the entire mood of the whole sequence was shot. Andrade got so fucking pissed off, this guy leveled him with a missile dropkick just to take this guy out so he could take his pants off. So he eventually does Andrade. He takes his pants off. He reveals his trunks underneath. He goes out to the front row. He takes a female fan and takes a picture with her. This is apparently his new thing. This is going to be his thing. Tony Khan's going to hire some attractive OnlyFan model, put them in the front row. They have no idea what pro wrestling is. Tee. This shit's fake. And then they'll go on their OnlyFans and fucking make fun of it. I got paid X amount of money to go sit at a fake pro wrestling show and then take a picture with this guy who's semi-attractive. So Andrade's out there, takes a picture with this lady. Andrade dumps Bandito back in the ring. He goes for a cover. Bandito kicks out. Andrade starts wearing him down with submissions. Bandito sends Andrade crashing into the mat face first. Stun Dog Millionaire. Sends him out to the ring. Flies over the top rope. Takes out Andrade with a big dive. Bandito then lands a German suplex on Andrade. Andrade responds to the Three Amigos on Bandito. Bandito catches Andrade with a moonsault off the top rope. Andrade catches him with a moonsault off the ropes and takes a selfie with another female on the opposite side of the ring who was slightly less attractive than the first female. This second female had a lot of gum. Just saying. The first female was a lot more attractive. But then Andrade, I don't know if you guys noticed, they tried to mimic Andrade putting his phone number in this lady's phone, and it came off so fucking poor and so fake. He legitimately asked for the phone, and he's doing one of... Bro, nobody enters their number that way. He's hitting the screen. He's hitting the screen on his phone. Like like, bro, really? At least make the motion of swiping up and going to the phone app and putting your number in the phone. Like, come on, man. Like, I get you want the allure of him being the ladies' guy and him putting the number in their phone. I mean, at least make it look somewhat realistic, please. Ridiculous. What a very awkward spot. So, After he puts his fake number in this woman's cell phone, Bandito rolls up Andrade back in the ring. Andrade kicks out. Bandito rocked him with a big enziguri. Andrade catches Bandito with a knee, goes for cover. Bandito kicks out. Gets Andrade up on his shoulders. He delivers a kick to the spine, which, I mean, it looked ridiculous. It was like a backwards kick to the back. Connects with a 21 plex. He goes for a pin. Andrade kicks out. He tries to deliver the message, but then he takes him to the top rope. He delivers a second rope message, or what he now calls the DM. That spinning neck breaker off the top rope. Second rope. 1, 2, 3. Andrade wins, and he beats Bandito. I don't know where we go with Andrade, but Andrade is fucking great. I think he's fucking fantastic. He is operating on a different level. Some of the best parts of AEW television. Just give this guy something to work with, and let's get him moving up the card. How many years, Chad, have I told you Andrade is one of the best wrestlers in the world? Do you believe me now? I don't say shit and just say it for the fucking sake of it. Like, I think I have a pretty good eye for talent. Andrade's fucking incredible. This is the best he's ever looked. He's got something to work with. He's got the pants gimmick. He's got the ladies gimmick. It's fucking working for him. Tie this shit all together and get this guy in the main event scene. It was at this point in the show, I'm like, all right, it's time for the main event. It's time for the main event, man. Let's get the show over with. Out comes the Snore Dogs. The Boar Dogs. Or what AEW simply calls the Dogs. Gabe Kidd, Clark Connors, and David Finlay versus Orange Cassidy, Roderick Strong, and Darby Allin. Why is this on the pay-per-view? Bro, we legitimately had a AEW Revolution where 4 of its matches should have taken place on Dynamite or Collision. This is the most... What do I say? What do I say on Friday Night Chat? What do I say? This is boring! Boring! B-O-R-I-N-G! Boring! Nobody cares. Bro, you are in Wyatt 6 MFT's territory with this fucking feud. Tell me when I'm telling you any lies. Nobody gives a fuck. And neither do I. Orange Cassidy, Roderick Strong, and Darby Allin. Darby and friends win. Thanks for coming. Next time, save this shit for fucking Saturday night, where the sickest of the sickos only watch. Nobody gives a shit. Main event. I legitimately yelled, finally, from the couch. If I knew this match was still on the show, I would have made my latte a little bit later in the evening, but I saved it for the 9 o'clock hour, and I was desperately looking for caffeine, but at that point, if I had any more caffeine, I probably wouldn't get to sleep. MJF and Adam Page. Bro, David Finlay, bro, are there people legitimately still out there saying David Finlay made the right decision by joining AEW? Yeah, maybe for the money. This guy is in a fucking vortex within 3 weeks of him already debuting, bro. I don't know. Yeah, let me take the money and working one of the worst angles in pro wrestling this year instead of going to NXT and working with my brother and working with my father. And maybe potentially being the leader of the Judgment Day if they got their shit straight. Whatever floats your boat, man. You want to work with Clark Connors and Gabe Kidd against fucking Darby? By all means, man. You're worse than fucking MFTs and Wyatt 6 at this point. MJF and Adam Page. Texas Death for the AEW World Championship. This was every bit as violent as you expected it to be. This was crazy. We got a lot of plunder here, chat. A lot of plunder. A lot of plunder. So we get Hangman coming out. We got a really shitty rendition of his theme song being played by trumpets. They tried to give it this old school cowboy feel. No, it didn't work. Just a plain old entrance would have worked for Hangman Page. MJF, though, they went a little bit more creative with his and a little bit more humorous. He was in the Wild Wild West, somewhere out in the remote regions of Los Angeles, somewhere in the valleys, in the desert. Probably some Hollywood movie studio that looked like an old Western town. So he played Red Dead Redemption, that MJF. He's walking in, or he's riding in, rather, on horseback, and he's dressed as a gunslinger. He's got Triple B with him, and he walks over to the grave of Adam Hangman Page. This is where Adam Hangman Page rests. So MJF makes a pit stop, and they film him from below, right between his legs, and he's legitimately urinating on Adam Page's grave. Par for the course for MJF. Quite like it. So the bell rings, and they go right from one another. Page hits MJF with his hand immediately wrapped in barbed wire. Starts firing off stomps in the corner. Page and MJF, they brawl into the crowd. Page then he starts throwing right hands at MJF. He takes a sip of beer from a fan and momentarily celebrates in the crowd. I don't know what type of diseases this said fan has, but I would not be drinking any unknown substances from anybody in this dirty crowd. 5 hours into the show. So he drinks this beer, celebrates with the crowd, dumps Page dumps MJF rather, into the ringside area. Page grabs a garbage can lid from underneath the ring. He throws it inside the ring. MJF takes out Page. Page quickly recovers. He looks at MJF with a garbage can lid. MJF runs outside the ring. He runs around comically, and he's running around. He thinks Adam Page is chasing him. He looks back. Nobody's there. He runs right into a trash can lid shot in the head by Adam Page. He then grabs a staple gun from underneath the ring, and he staples MJF's chest. To his chest, he staples happy birthday. It was legitimately MJF's birthday on the 15th. He celebrated bleeding buckets in the main event of AEW Revolution. Happy birthday to MJF. Hopefully he enjoyed that red bottle of wine we got him. So after the staple shot, Page brings a window. Yes, a window with glass into the ring. Sets it up in the corner. MJF grabs the window, and he breaks the window in the middle of the ring. Shards of glass now lie in the ring. So Page sends MJF into the broken glass, and he body slammed MJF into the broken glass, and MJF is laying there frozen as the referee begins his 10 count. So the Texas Deathmatch, you either get pinned or submitted, tap out, whatever the case may be, or you don't make the count of 10. So he's laying there in the glass, frozen. Referee's making his count. Page stops the count. He then drags MJF through the glass over and over and over again like a vacuum cleaner. He's dragging MJF through shards of glass. Was it real glass? I don't know. He then grabs barbed wire. He wrapped it around his hand. He jams it into MJF's forehead. MJF begins to bleed. And MJF is now in a position where Page is using the barbed wire, and the barbed wire is legitimately in his mouth. He's flossing MJF with barbed wire. So at this point, MJF is bleeding. We go back outside the ring. Paige grabs a table from underneath the ring. MJF is back in control. He sends Paige crashing into the barricade face first. He dumps him back in the ring after some action on the outside. He grabs a piece of broken glass from the window and cuts Paige's head with the glass. MJF then sets Paige crashing into the pile of glass with the window broken, still shards of glass in the ring. He body slams Paige into the glass. He then grabs a broom from underneath the ring and starts sweeping the ring of the glass shards, getting the glass out of the ring. That's a smart move. Who wants this fucking chaos in the ring? He starts sweeping the ring like a part of the ring crew. So Paige takes the broomstick away from MJF. He breaks the broomstick in half over his knee. MJF grabs one half of the broomstick from Paige. He hits him in the head with it, cracks the chair across his spine. He then takes a seat in the chair. MJF then takes the chair across Paige's back again. He then goes outside and goes underneath the ring. He takes a syringe from underneath the ring. He then takes the syringe and legitimately punctures Paige's mouth with it. He takes the syringe and the needle and jams it through his mouth. The side of his mouth, you see the needle go in his mouth and come out the other side of his face. One of the sickest spots I think I've ever seen. I hate needles, man. I fucking hate needles. He then sends him crashing on top of a chair wrapped in barbed wire and sets a table up on the outside. Fans are chanting, holy shit, holy shit. MJF has got to be the sickest motherfucker in all New York, bro. MJF then looked to grab a chair that was wrapped in barbed wire. Paige steps onto it to stop him from grabbing it. Takes it, cracks the chair across MJF's back. MJF crashes onto the chair wrapped in barbed wire that's been set up in the corner. Then looks to land his big Orihara moonsault. MJF avoids it, throws the barbed wire wrapped chair at Paige's face. But Paige somehow delivers a dead eye to MJF off the apron through the table that was set up on the outside. Paige dumps MJF back inside. MJF then bites Paige, who's bloodied, and sits him on the top rope. He delivers a tombstone to Paige through the second table that was set up on the opposite side, and the referee begins his 10 count. So both men get up, they get back in the ring, they stare each other down, they're throwing bombs and right hands at each other, and then they go underneath the ring and each of them grab a light tube. Fans start chanting GCW, GCW. It was at this point where if you thought this was garbage wrestling, I mean, I don't blame you. We're going into Nick Gage territory here. Paige cracks a tube over MJF's head, which I am shocked. Like, all I had running in the back of my head is you got your number one guy in the company, and you're risking your world champion and your top guy. You're risking him in a match with light tubes, and you're willingly having him take a shot with a light tube over the back and over his fucking head. Bro, 2 shots with a light tube to MJF's back and MJF's face. Bro, you saw shards of light tube in MJF's back. His back was dripping blood. And then they take the light tube, the second light tube, because Paige took the light tube away from MJF and smashed the light tube over MJF's head. And you just see him legitimately bloodied from fucking forehead, dripping blood all down his face. I'm like, bro, this is your top guy, and you're having him wrestle garbage wrestling. Can you imagine if he was compromised any worse than what he was tonight? Can you imagine? That's quite the risk, bro. I'm sorry. That's quite the risk. So at this point, we go back to the ring. Paige grabs a handful of barbecue skewers, and they're jockeying for position with the barbecue skewers. They're looking to stab each other with the barbecue skewers. Eventually, Page overpowers him, and the barbecue skewers go into MJF's forehead after the light tube wasn't enough. He's got barbecue skewers sticking out of his head. Adam Page goes to the apron. He delivers a buckshot lariat. The visual of MJF looking like a fucking porcupine with barbecue skewers in his head. Page delivers the buckshot. All the barbecue skewers fly everywhere. There's not a barbecue skewer left in his head. And he delivers a buckshot to MJF. Referee begins a 10 count. MJF somehow manages to get up. Page grabs a dog collar chain from underneath the ring. What else is... How much did all of this amount to at Home Depot? Page grabs a dog collar chain from underneath the ring. He wraps it around MJF's neck, and he wraps it around the ropes. He grabs a table from underneath the ring and then places a board of barbed wire on top of it and sets up for a deadeye. If that wasn't enough, Page was asking for a lighter. He's like, who's got a lighter? Nobody wanted to give him a lighter. I genuinely thought that this was done just for effect. Neither guy was in position to go through fire. This was more just for the effect of everything. So he was yelling out to the crowd. He wanted a lighter. He wanted to set MJF on fire. He wanted to set the table on fire and put MJF through the table. So MJF avoids the deadeye. He pulls Page off the top rope, sends him crashing through the table with the barbed wire on it. Referee begins a 10 count. Page beats it. Page and MJF brawl on top of the entrance ramp again. They were just up there moments ago with light tubes. Page sends himself and MJF crashing through a table that is off to the side of the entrance ramp, and we begin seeing sparks. So they didn't use fire, but they caused a quote-unquote explosion as they went through some sound equipment and sparks were going off. It was basically the Foley and Rock Royal Rumble spot where they killed the sound equipment off to the side of the stage. So the effects of sparks and all that stuff came into play. So the referee begins a 10 count again. Both men beat it. MJF looks like he's completely out on his feet. Page and MJF are still wrapped in this dog collar. So this all of a sudden became partially a dog collar match. So he's dragging MJF as MJF is crawling on all fours back to the ring. Crowd is barking. Ho, ho. They're barking because MJF's walking like a dog. MJF grabs the World Championship belt from ringside, hits Page in the face with it. You physically see Page bruised with this title shot. He nailed the shit out of him with the title. So Page grabbed it from MJF and clocks him with it. MJF chokes Page out with the dog collar chain using the ropes. Basically what Moxley did to Page last year. Page fades. Referee began a 10 count. Page can't make it back to his feet. MJF violently wins the Texas Death and retains Triple B. He retains the AEW World Championship. And that's the way the show ended. After the match, Page is put on a stretcher. They tie him onto a stretcher. They try and stretcher him out of the Crypto.com arena. Referee takes the chain and the dog collar off MJF. He stands on top of the stretcher holding the World Championship belt up in the air. And that's the way Revolution comes to an end. I enjoyed this. I enjoyed this for what it was. I was expecting it to be violent. And everything I said about MJF in the beginning stands. If you guys want me heaping praise on what he means to AEW, I urge you to go back. If you're an MJF fan or MJF himself, if you want what I have to say about his contributions to the company, working a match like this, then go back to the beginning of the show where I talk about it at the top. The guy's the most important figure, maybe in AEW. Maybe ever. You know, he interviewed with What's-Her-Face over there, right? And he said that without him, AEW is dead. That's not MJF in character. It may very well to the fucking geek out there, but it is very much true. Without MJF, AEW is dead. They do not have another guy that currently is in the company right now that will be able to take his place if he somehow was to defect over to WWE. The guy is the most important man in the company. There's a reason for the upswing in ratings. There's a reason why they sold 12,000 tickets to this show tonight. It wasn't a sellout. You know, the term sellout is a stretch. The building holds over 20,000. They sold their allotment of tickets. If it was a sellout, then they would have opened up more, and AEW would have fit 15, maybe 16,000 in the Crypto.com arena. WWE filled 18,000 for, I believe, a Monday Night Raw here not too long ago. So, this is what I mean by the pro wrestling media stretching the truth. Everything's become a vicious narrative, and it's disgusting. But that's not to say AEW's not on an upswing. Are they better than they were last year? Absolutely. MJF is the reason for that. MJF now is a part of the best Texas Deathmatch in company history. He's now a part of two of the best Iron Man matches in company history, and possibly of all time. And he's now part of the best dog collar match with CM Punk. On top of that, having the best storyline and best angle with CM Punk in AEW history. He also owns the best promo. And he's a two-time AEW World Champion. What else does the guy got to do? He doesn't need to wrestle this fucking garbage plunder type of match. He does it because he's a leader. He does it because he's asked to do it. And he's going to go out there and prove to everybody why he's the best. He could wrestle a garbage match. He's going to wrestle a garbage match and do it better than anybody. He's going to wrestle a submission match, do it better than anybody. Iron Man match, do it better than anybody. Dog collar match, do it better than anybody. There is nothing that the guy physically cannot do. I don't know how you look at him and don't heap all this praise on top of what he means to your company. If there's one guy you do not want to lose, it's MJF. When that day comes, then I would start worrying. Pay-per-view this year has been largely awful. It's only March, but we got in the Royal Rumble and Elimination Chamber. And both of them were fucking terrible. The Rumble was terrible. And so was the Elimination Chamber. Safe, formulaic, no risk, very Sesame Street. Even though these shows have a plethora of problems and they're too long and the fucking kickouts and the copious amounts of blood and the fucking this and the that and Ronda Rousey. Bro, there is no way anybody could look at this shit and say it's not better than Raw or Chamber or Royal Rumble. Bro, WWE has shit the fucking bed. Wet diarrhea in the bed this year. We're 5 weeks out to WrestleMania, and we barely have a fucking card put together and barely any excitement outside of Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, and Roman Reigns. Where the fuck is everything else? So by default, AEW has delivered, so far, the best show of the year. Any questions? Now it's time for Super Chats, and then I'm getting the fuck out of here. Thank you guys for all of your support. I appreciate you very much. Hit that thumbs up. Follow me on social media at JDfromNY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for notifications. Please hit that thumbs up. We got 818 likes. Can we possibly get to 1,000 likes? Let's try for 1,000 likes. I know you guys can do it. I know there are less than 200 people in here that have not hit the thumbs up. Go check out all the great content on the channel. We'll be live tomorrow night for Monday Night Raw. Raw looks like a complete snooze fest. Snooze fest. 5.5 weeks till WrestleMania, and we're getting a Raw like we got tomorrow night, man. Oh, my God. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought of Revolution. And please, if you're listening on audio, Spotify, iTunes, leave a comment, leave a rating. Helps us out. I'll try and get this up immediately after I'm done here. Start at the top here, man. We will start with Michael Krause. $2 Super Chat. JD, Jesse, OTS. How's everyone today? Let's go. Yeah. Thank you, Michael. $375 Codman with a $5 Super Chat. 2 a.m. here in Italy. I don't know if I will resist till the end, but I'm really happy to see a big, full venue for AEW. Cheers, JD and OTS family. Thank you, Codman. Appreciate you, brother. Caden with a $1.99, no message. Thank you, Caden. Joey Taylor with a $5 super chat. JD, who is more annoying to hear? Denise, Minnie, or Wheezy? Revolution was a 5 out of 10. Ronda being in AEW, do not care. Andrade Bandito, my match of the night. I don't know, Joey. I'm going to have to go Denise, but Minnie's just attitude is piss poor, and Wheezy's haircut may be worse than both of them. CM Punk fan 500 with a $5 super chat. AEW does not need 13 matches on this show. Bro, they could have cut this show in fucking half and given you 7 matches, and it would have been even better. Imagine. What could have been a 6 out of 10 show could have been an 8 out of 10 show. Also, AEW fell apart ever since I left. Honestly, death matches are overexposed and overrated. I'm glad I didn't spend $40 on this show. Phil, is that you? We love Punk, man. Punk is my wrestler of the year in 2026. So far. Also, he says AEW is going to be dead in a few years with the $2 super chat. Also, he says, I wouldn't be surprised if someone actually dies on AEW television. He also says, I think we should just sail the high seas for these shows if we want any change. And finally, he adds, this Texas Deathmatch is the worst match in AEW history. I'm not surprised Phil is disgruntled with AEW. Is it the worst match in AEW history? No. Come on now. That's bad faith. Captain Solo with a $2 super chat. The clothes hanger, Adam Rage. NXT confirmed. Yeah. Fast Eddie with a $4.99. JD, we finally had Penta and Ray Phoenix on stage at AAA over the weekend. Oh, yeah? I didn't watch. Nathan Cox with a $1.99. Great pay-per-view. Ronda Rousey in AEW is big for mainstream. Is it? Nate, 6382 with a $2 super chat. Good morning, guys. Haha, these pay-per-views are way too long. Best in the world, Matt with a $5 super chat. At least MJF committed to doing a death match all the way. Just goes to show you the man can do anything. Mox versus Takeshita, match of the night. Probably the best sheer wrestling match of the night, yeah. Hannah with a $1.99. So happy AEW pay-per-view season is back. It is their best stuff. I'll tell you that. It is their best stuff. Based with a $9.99. Worst main event ever. I'd rather be waterboarded than rewatch that. 2 out of 10 at best. Based, that's a bad faith comment, bro. Kind of disappointed in you. That's not the way I trained you guys over here. It's not. Worst main event ever? Come on now. This was worse than Moxley and Copeland last year? Are we fucking serious? CM Punk fan with a $5 super chat. In my opinion, I would have enjoyed this match more if we didn't have a deathmatch type every week in AEW. I agree. Quality over quantity, Phil. They don't get it. CM Punk fan, thank you, brother. Chicago 4MB with a $2 super chat. I feel discombobulated. Is it Tuesday? Come on. No, tomorrow will be Tuesday. Justin with a 43 months. That Texas Deathmatch was absolutely insane, and it was a fantastic match. Also, 43 months going strong in the VIP section. Thank you, Justin. Appreciate you being here, brother. David Rice with a $50 super chat. I'm assuming he came over from Jesse's stream. We love David Rice. JD, you are spitting facts tonight. This pay-per-view was good. And it could have been great, but AEW just cannot get out of their own way. The match lineup was awful. The two matches before the main event, no one cared about, and then the indie-rific main event. David, they could have cut the women's tag team title match. They could have cut that trios Texas Tornado match with the fucking Boar Riders or the Boar Dogs. They could have cut Toni Storm and Marina Shafir. And they could have cut something else. They could have cut 4 matches from this show. Bro, we could have easily gotten out of here at 11:15. Easy. Easy. Appreciate you being here, brother. Yo, boy, Pete with a $4.99. Thoughts on Britt? And now Sammy calling out AEW for not being booked. OTS for life. Hope Jess E is feeling better after being sick last week. Sammy's wrestling for House of Glory, so he got work as long as he wants it. He's wrestling the Amazing Red on Saturday afternoon. And Britt, I don't think Britt will be back on AEW television ever again. Sorry to tell you, Britt Baker fans. Joseph Taylor, $5 Super Chat. Most within WWE were shocked to see Ronda Rousey show up at Revolution. Only a few people in WWE knew about it. Brian Alvarez. I don't give a fuck. I'm not shocked. And I'm shocked she even is going to be wanted by anybody in pro wrestling, period. She's awful. Her most redeeming quality is burying Bruce Pritchard. CM Punk fan with $2 Super Chat. Ronda is terrible. Super Bears 916 with a 14 months. Wrestling media, social media is a dumpster fire. It's why I respect your opinion. You say it how it is, and so be it. Keep it up, man. Thank you, Super Bears. I appreciate you, brother. CM Punk fan becomes a new member, too. Thank you, CM Punk fan. Joseph Taylor, $5 Super Chat. Minnie likes to whine and complain about Brock coming back, but said nothing about what Ronda said in the past and the Hangman picture with Marty. Hypocrites. They don't want to bite the hand that feeds them. Effing Raw with a 7 months. AEW mentioning Ronda's fight on Netflix, the home of AEW's main competitor, is funny to me. How is this a good idea for AEW to bring her in? When did they mention it? They're not going to mention it. Bro, they didn't even mention their own getting a fucking movie role on Netflix. They're going to mention Ronda and her fight? Give me a fucking break. Ronda went from problem to now their savior. Michael Krause, JD loves MFT. LOL. Yeah, I love it. Corporal Poon, 69 with a 7 months. Ronda's fallout with Toni will be the stuff of legends. Legends says Toni still fears for his life. Does Toni do lines of Dax Hardwood? Yeah. Bro, someone should investigate what's in Toni's cup, man. I'm very curious and suspicious about what's in that cup. What happened at the post-show media scrum? Did anybody ask any questions? Did anybody ask any meaningful questions at the post-show media scrum, or was it a bunch of fucking retards sitting in a room together with one collective brain cell? Which was it? Base Beers with a $2 Super Chat. Bro, Kingston is starting to look like Russo, bro. M. James with a $5 Super Chat. 3 years of Copeland in AEW and still barely did matches. Most fans wanted to see him with Kenny. No Kenny, no Ospreay, no Joe, no MJF, Swerve. Kind of wild. Yeah, bro, I think he's done. After this current run with the tag team titles, I think he's done. Jerry Delino with a $1.99. Former WWE Shield geek Ryan Satin was at Revolution. Yeah, that's great. That's great. That's the type of person you don't want associating with your promotion. He would rather stalk porn stars at Whole Foods who are conveniently shopping for their fruits and vegetables than give a proper opinion. He's a shill, he's a cocksucker, And he will never amount to anything more than a fucking loser. He had to walk away from the community because he fucking blows. He is genuinely an awful human being who tried to ruin my career at one point or another, and he can fucking suck my cock for all I care. Fuck him. Savion with the 41 months. Damn, I miss Jay White. Really thought tonight could have been the night for his return, but leaning more towards Double or Nothing in New York City now. You wanted to put Jay White on this show when Copeland, Christian, Will Ospreay, and Ronda Rousey all made their appearances. Boy, that would have got lost in the shuffle quicker than I could fucking blink. Gabe Kidd vs. Darby Allin unsanctioned coffin match on Wednesday. Great. More blood and more plunder. Fantastic. What else happened at the post show? Any questions? Any meaningful questions? Did they ask about Ronda Rousey and why people were upset that she's apparently a conspiracy theorist? Or that she's an anti-vaxxer? Any questions on this? And why Trey Miguel was canned? But they bring in Ronda Rousey with all these nefarious things about her on her record. Did they ask? I'm going to say no. I'll take no for 500, Mr. Trebek. Notch with a $5 super chat. Hey, JD, I won't be surprised if we get Ronda versus Mercedes at Wembley just for Toni to get bored of his new toy before she gets banished on Collision. Bro, I hope Ronda Rousey makes 0 appearances and collides herself out of the fucking company. Johnny Cloud with 54 months. Hi, guys. DV Acme with a $5 super chat. As a nurse, I know the syringe spot is actually pretty safe. A clean through and through pierce doesn't do any real damage, but as a spot, fuck. DV Acme. That's great, but I'm afraid of needles, and I found it to be very, 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 skeevy. Skeevy's a good word. Brendan with a $4.99. Dynasty will be in Vancouver. What'd I say? Toronto? Canada? Who gives a shit? Canada. It's late. Cut me some slack. Adrian with a $4.99. No message. Thank you, Adrian. D4. $1.99. Evil husband of EO is leader of Judgment Day. Oh, yeah? That's going to go over like a fucking fart in a crowded elevator. Kenny Clifford with a $5 super chat. That's the last one here. Yo, JD, I agree with you about the pay-per-view. And do you still use your Patreon? I saw your link in the channel description. It's there if people want to support, Kenny. I don't use it. There's no uploads there. There's no exclusive content there. If you guys want to support, extra way to support. Everything goes into the channel. Everything I do goes into the podcast. It's always there if people want to support. Anyway, 3 hours, man. I was here for a 5.5-hour AEW pay-per-view, and I gave you 3 hours of a fucking post show till 4 o'clock in the morning. Never let anybody tell you JD isn't dedicated to his craft. Who else is going to do this in the community outside Sol Monster? 0! Thank you guys for a great stream. Hit that thumbs up. How many likes we got? I only see 865 likes. You mean to tell me there's not 135 people in this chat that haven't hit the thumbs up? I know you're hiding somewhere, man. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. At least, the least you could do for me. It's 4 a.m. on the East Coast here, bro. Can you hit that thumbs up and show your support? Seriously. Hit that thumbs up. Thank you for the super chat love tonight. Leave a comment down below. Also helps me out. Follow me on social media at JDfromNY 206. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Yes, I still call it Twitter. Follow me on social media. Go check out the content on the channel. There's plenty of it. We got a brand new week coming tomorrow. Tonight, Monday Night Raw. Tomorrow's Tuesday. It's Monday. I'll be live tonight for Monday Night Raw, Tuesday Night Titans. Expect that new announcement from Coach, I believe, today. This morning, we'll be announcing it. Tuesday Night Titans will not be affected. I will be live with Jason on Tuesday, 8:30 p.m. Wednesday, Jesse returns to the Dynamite streams. And then Saturday, hopefully, we'll see you guys at House of Glory in Brentwood on Long Island. Hit that thumbs up, leave a comment. Thank you for the Super Chat love. And I will see you guys right back here tonight live for what looks to be a pretty dull Monday Night Raw. Until then, guys, thank you so very much. And I'll see you later for Monday Night Raw.